It's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
I'm Ron Bennington. And that was Gloria, brought to us either by them or the Whereabouts. I can remember who
Them.
did. Okay, the Whereabouts, a fantastic Twin Oaks band. Good to see you back in here, looking lively, Gail.
Yes, I'm back.
Well, welcome to the working week.
All's well.
All is well. Big night last night for the last Boy Scout, which is now what I call professional football, because it looks just worse and worse and worse for that game. But I did not watch the game, but everybody was freaked out about it this morning.
Yeah. Last night, I did not see the game, but immediately saw news stories and just the image of like over top and his body, and it's just like not moving. I was like, I'm so glad I didn't see that. It looked so upsetting.
Maybe now my business will take off. Nerf helmets, Nerf fields, Nerf shoulder pads, Nerf everything.
And you know what? I think that's fun for everyone.
Yeah. And I want to start every Monday night game with Let's Nerf. Let's Nerf.
I think it was Troy Aikman who was tweeting last night, just like, as a football player, how upsetting, how bad for football this is.
Yeah.
It's just,
another thing that was bad for football was Troy Aikman. Just a little shot across his bow because he deserves it. But yes, it is. This does come as like the worst possible time for professional football, as this perfect storm. Now, what's interesting is when someone gets hurt like that, everybody kneels. And I thought it was supposed to be bad to do that, but it all works out, I guess. I guess it's when you kneel is how it goes down.
Yeah, there's a lot of rules. Sometimes standing, sometimes kneeling.
Yeah, like the Catholic Church.
Exactly.
Like the Catholic Church itself. I got in trouble once because we went from a sit to a kneel to a stand, and then I went into a push-up. I'm like, let's just go for this. Let's work core. Closer and closer to Christmas season, which seems to just be buzzing along here in New York City. I don't know how it's playing in the rest of the country.
I know, but Midtown is already
Spirit.
Full Christmas, and it's just already so packed just compared to just 2-3 weeks ago. It's insane.
Yeah, it is insane. The insanity of the season. So just embrace it. Don't fight it. Don't push back about it.
Go with the flow with it.
Yeah. We are going to, and I don't know whether, Chris, if you've got the whole mailing thing worked out for the posters, but we've got some signed posters. Well, we haven't signed them yet, but we are going to sign posters and give them out to you, the listeners. That's from the famous Thanksgiving show. And it's a nice poster. Everybody signed up. Anybody who wants it, 844-ROCK-GOD. 844-ROCK-GOD. Vito told me we had a ton of them, and you couldn't even bring them back. And then I saw them, and it's not a ton. It's maybe about a pound. Did you ever put a count on them, Vito?
No, I did not put a count on them. I'm going to do that first thing after the show.
Okay, so.
What if there's something else important? First thing.
Yeah, first thing.
First thing I do, the second 3 o'clock hits.
But you know that we're doing the wrap-ups this time of the year. I mean, it's not an easy time, Vito. And unfortunately, Vito is the organizer for this. And I keep saying, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, when he says how this whole end of the year special is going to fit together. And then he says, I got it. I go, you know who says that? Chris. And he never does.
I got it, boss.
Yeah.
Trust me.
See, that's the shit that worries me, Vito.
Trust the process.
That's the stuff that concerns me.
You know, I will say, though, Vito is really back in full swing with that young Stanley Kubrick look.
Loving it.
Pops up now and again.
We got to get you a cool pair of glasses.
I know.
Oh, like those, the ones with the sides?
The ones with the sides. All glasses have sides, son.
The shield.
There was a, I don't know whether you guys have watched Curb this year, but there was a thing where he had glasses that went back that Peter Sellers was wearing them in Dr. Strangelove, and he kept calling his Dr. Strangelove glasses. And I'm like, I was watching, I'm like, shit, I really do want some Dr. Strangelove sunglasses. Yeah, just put it up. Just Peter Sellers, and Sunglasses, Dr. Strangelove. But they're just rocking.
Oh yeah, that's a great look.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call that style. It's a very specific style. I feel like it came back into trend like a couple years ago.
Well,
But
he just calls him Dr. Strangeloves in Curb, and I loved it immediately. Now the Curb has done its last episode, and you guys didn't stick with it at all this year, right?
I'm behind, so I'm probably like 3 episodes behind, so I haven't watched the most recent.
It ended very oddly.
Really?
Very oddly.
I believe that because I feel like it's been an odd season.
It's been a very, very odd season.
I feel like, at first I thought it was like a little slow going. Maybe it was just getting back into the flow of it. Then I thought there were some really solid episodes, but I think it's been really back and forth and it's been a weird one.
Yeah, it's been very strange, and the ending was incredibly strange.
Dark, would you say?
Oh, I would say dark.
Yeah.
I would say dark. Somewhat edgy. You know what I mean? In these Trumpian times that we live in.
It feels like that's
the fatwa thing is an odd
it's weird,
comedic thing to take. And I'm, I don't know. It could be the end of the whole series for all I know. Or did the series actually end years ago? And this is a weird dream. I mean, because if you look back, the wife and is now with his friend, Sam Mayday Malone, but they're not playing a very big role in it. Doesn't seem to be all
they
that. They
show up for a minute every episode.
And Garland fucks around with his wife, but there's no payoff or no comedic.
That was very difficult for me this season.
Yeah.
It's like, he's always found her to be kind of a pain in the ass, but now he sleeps around, complains about having sex with her. It's just really mean-spirited.
It's very mean-spirited, and there isn't here's why they did it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Here's the reason why.
And his character was one that was more likable.
Who, Garland?
Yeah, compared to the two of them, he was sort of more likable and more lovable. So you're like, why do you want to take him down a dark road?
Here's Eric in Illinois. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Bennington.
Hey.
I don't really have anything to say, so I'm kind of like Chris. I bring nothing, and I kind of want something. Can I get one of those posters?
That is like Chris, where you bring nothing, and yet you want and you want and you want. I'm going to make a promise to you, Chris.
Okay.
I will work you so hard.
Okay.
That you will either have a mental or physical breakdown.
Oh, Jesus.
Are you ready for that commitment, Chris?
I am. Thank you.
When I did Jim and Sam the other day, they're like, I think that, aren't you pretty demanding? It was a very funny thing. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I am. I don't know. I want a good show.
Are you pretty demanding?
Yeah. Because they come from a background where the producers and the interns kind of watch the show and don't really interact.
Right.
And I come from a background where the producers and even interns are part of the show.
Yes.
Maybe it's time for me to push away this crazy old way I've lived my life. You know what I mean? Get woke, as the kids say. I'm going to ask Jen right now, if you look at me and Chris, right? Which one of us is more woke?
Possibly Chris.
Chris is more woke. Now, what makes Chris woke?
Well, actually, I want to change my answer.
Okay.
I want to change it. Probably you.
What makes me more woke than Chris?
Well, to me, woke is just you're aware of what's going on, and you have an understanding and a care about
my old bad behavior.
No, about like the kneeling thing and just little controversies that are going on. And I don't think Chris has a care. He's aware, but he doesn't have a care.
You know
aware, but with no care.
You know what Chris always says to me? This is the greatest country in the world, and if they don't like it, they can catch the next banana boat out of here.
Oh my God, Chris, that's not woke.
That was just for off the air, Ron.
That's sleep.
Eric, we are going to give you one of those signed posters. Merry Christmas,
Merry Christmas.
We can finally say Merry Christmas again.
Oh, thank God. There was so much pressure. Stigma.
Now, Vito, when I hit hold, he disappeared. Did you get his stuff?
No, I did not get his stuff. So, Eric, just try to reach back out.
See, Vito, this is the problem. You didn't count. There's no preparation for this giveaway, you know? And I want to give away a couple a day.
But you want to know you should pace yourself.
I want to know what the pacing is.
I'm going to have Monty count them during the show.
Is it 5 or 100?
That's a good question. We're going to get those counted ASAP.
What's ASAP mean? Do
Means
you
as soon
think
as
Vito
possible.
was woke at all?
No. I'm more woke than Vito.
No, you're not.
No, definitely
But
not.
Jen, let me.
You know it.
All right, Jen. You see that I have a lot of black friends, right?
I do.
And I'm very supportive of a lot of young black men,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Unlike Vito, I don't go around bringing it up and bragging about it.
That's true.
So is he woke or faking woke?
He might be. He might be fake woke.
Because he's always like this. Me and my black friends went out to this movie,
Yeah,
and I'm like, where does that come
It
from,
is a little
dude?
strange.
Look, me and my black friends hang out every weekend, and that makes me woke.
I don't think it does. Because you should be saying me and my friends, and then we're all fucking surprised when we find out that black guy.
Like he'll
That's
say,
being woke.
He'll tell me a story and he's like, so you met my black friend Ian, right? And I'm like,
Yep.
Ian? Yes, I've met him.
My tall black friend Ian.
Guess
you
what?
don't need to describe him
And
that
his tall
way.
black brother Evan.
Let me just point this out. I have a black friend, Ian, and a black bisexual friend, Ian. And I don't refer to either one of them that way.
I don't have any black friends that are gay also. But I'll find...
Oh, my, see, here's what makes you more of a racist. My bisexual friend, Ian, is not black. So there you go for just assuming. Go back to fucking sleep, you lazy bastard.
You're not woke, dude.
Man, I'm woke. Look at me in pictures of me and all my black friends. That's
I don't
woke.
like that. I don't like that you keep saying that. You're using them.
For fun.
It's fun to use people, he says.
Oh, no, it's just fun to hang out with them.
Because they're people.
You know who
You
you're
know.
sounding like now? Gurian.
Whoa, no, that guy.
Is Gurian woke?
No, Gurian tries to have a handshake with every black guy that he knows. He has to have a separate handshake. Now, I do have friends that have specific handshakes, but I don't do it with them. You know why?
Why?
I'm not here to fucking steal their culture.
Right. You just are aware.
I'm too
They have-
woke for that. I want to try to be even more woke, and I'll be glad when you point it out to me. Okay?
Okay.
That'll be your job, Jen. Just
Ron,
like that's,
you could be a little more woke in this
Heck,
situation.
that's what I need because I come up at a different time. You know what? Everybody's talking about this movie that's based on The Room. Have you heard about this?
The Disaster Artist?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard about it. I've seen the trailer. I've never seen The Room, though.
You've never seen it?
I've seen like clips of it
I've
on YouTube.
seen a couple of clips of people who said this is the funniest bad movie ever, and I haven't seen it.
I have seen the movie. I have not seen The Disaster Artist yet, but I have seen the movie The Room. I do want to see The Disaster Artist.
You know what we want to see too? Everybody's raving about. I think it came out for a little bit here, and now it's playing in one theater. Is that Florida movie that was shot very, very cheaply?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
Project.
What is it, Vito?
The Florida Project.
Thank you. Now, you said you lived in that same motel, Jen? When you were down in Orlando. Jen knows that area very well.
She does, yeah.
One of my rival stations in Orlando is actually they said that like they use their studios for something in the movie.
Did that make you mad?
A little bit,
Yeah.
just because it's our rival and they keep shouting it out.
Seems
on
like they have a
Instagram
lot.
stuff, like-
One of the rival stations.
What company did you work for then?
iHeart.
And they're in trouble. You see their
Yeah,
shit.
big trouble.
What stations did they have in Orlando?
They had the hip hop station, which is one of the channels I work for. Then they had Real Radio.
That's my buddies.
Yes, and then they had a pop station with Johnny Magic in the morning, and then they had
Johnny Magic in the morning, everybody.
and then they had a country station and a rock station.
That's fucking iHeart Radio, man. They just have like most of the stations, but they go way in debt for it. You know, it's very the time that radio was at the best was before you had like there could be independent stations everywhere.
When did that take over? Was that like
during the Clinton years?
Yeah,
Clinton made this deal that you could own. There used to be a deal like you could own 2 radio stations, like an AM and an FM, or maybe it was no, I think it was 2. Because when I worked for CBS, they just had an AM and an FM, and then they said you could own 1 newspaper in that same market. They used to be worried about what has happened now, corporate media. And, you know, the fact that Fox and MSNBC just sitting around yelling at each other, but you don't get an independent view outside of that.
Yeah. It's amazing to me that was in place. Like that rule was already in place before that boom happened.
Well, what happened is they pulled it out, and then a lot of money changed hands.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was borrowed and stuff. So all those independent guys went, wait, I got a fucking $8 million radio station and you're telling me it's worth 40? Yeah, I'll fucking sell it to you.
Right.
And I'll spend the rest of my time doing coke, drinking fucking liquor. I guess that's what they did. I assume that's what everyone did. Ooh. Dave in Columbus. Dave.
Hey, how are you doing?
Hey.
Hey, are you and Gail displayed on this poster?
Well, it's kind of a takeoff of the Last Waltz poster. And see, what I wanted to do was come in, get him some sign, put it up to show people. But Vito, I guess you wanted to wait until after this thing was going before you did the count?
I have the count now.
All right, just run it into me on a piece of paper.
I thought he was going to do that first thing at 3.
You know what? You stay in there and have Amani bring it in. I don't trust Vito.
I know.
Plus, if he runs in here, everything's going to shake.
Ouch. Man, why do you got to always fight with him?
I know.
You're like Jen and her sister. It's nonstop. I can't take the kids on a trip to the beach this year.
And why would you bring up his weight?
He brings up my weight all the time.
I don't think he does. He's a good boy. He doesn't do that.
He's the worst boy.
Thanks, Gail.
Money, sit in with us. You haven't sat in for a while. How's your thing going? Because I know you're doing multiple internships.
They're going great.
Yeah.
They're all ending at the same time, though, sadly.
What are you going to do over Christmas break?
I don't have any plans. I know my mom is finally off in a while for the first time for like the holidays.
Is that right?
Yeah, because she usually works during the holidays.
Is it just you two guys together?
No, I have an older brother.
Do you?
As well.
But
so,
he's
yeah,
gone?
So 3 of us. Yeah, so he'll come back every now and then and like hang out. But then once it's time to go.
Will he be back for Christmas?
Yeah, he'll be around.
My dream is to keep the family far apart at Christmas. I think it makes everybody a little more in the moment. You know, like, oh, I miss everyone. You know, but when you're together, who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But what feels nice is if you're far away. What I'd like to do is give everybody tickets to go a different place in the globe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's what I would like to do. So you guys got any plans for Christmas?
I think my mom was just cooking, and then we're just going to hang out, really.
Would you
catch up? Because I feel like we're all so busy during
You're
the
very
week.
busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom is too. I mean,
What's your mom do?
She's a nurse, so she works 12-hour shifts.
So she wants you to be a nurse, right? Is that why you get this nursing thing?
In the medical field.
Yeah.
But she knows I want to do communications, and she's open to it.
Don't we still have like that Dr. Radio or whatever it's called?
Yes, we
Does
do
that still
down in
exist?
down in NYU. Yeah, that actual studio is down there.
That's somebody who you should try to do an internship with, because you graduate in June.
May.
Oh, May. What school?
Yes, sir. Lehman College in the Bronx.
I never went to college. I like to tell my people, everybody's because my family didn't have money, but that's just not true. I just thought it would be better not to have a lot of responsibilities. You know?
I just did school, okay?
I felt exhausted at the end of high school. So I decided to take a couple decades off of myself. Look around a little bit. See what it was like to be high in the morning. You know? Experiment it.
Find yourself.
Still haven't. Now I'm ready. I'm ready to find myself. By the way, I'm going to just ask you this. Do you think Jen is even woke? I'm not saying it.
I feel she is.
Okay. Is Gail woke?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm woke. So, who are we fighting about? Whether Chris?
I don't think is there a chance for me to become woke?
But remember what Jen said at the Thanksgiving gig? She just looks at everybody and says, "That's a lot of white people."
That's true.
And that.
But you have to be woke to see that.
Do you?
I'm not sure.
Did you guys watch the Apu documentary?
Yeah.
So Harry's doing this thing, and he's on stage, and he says the thing that he hates is when people say they don't see race. He says that's a lie.
Right.
And if you don't see race, you don't see racism. And I'm like, oh, that's a pretty good line. We're going to try to get him in, because that documentary stayed in my head after I saw it. Because these kids, well, they were kids when it was out, and now they're adult comedians, but they decided that Apu is a racist character. Now, did anyone notice that, like, when you were younger?
Not any clue. None whatsoever. And when I heard about this documentary coming out, and I saw, like, clips of it, and people are pissed. Like, I had no idea.
Yeah, and the thing that kills me is, like, they're comedians.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not just like, they're not like the kind of people who don't look like,
too
edgy.
woke.
Yeah, edgy material turns them off. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So for them to say this
well, you know,
hurt us,
I think
is interesting.
The way I always felt about it is it was a stereotype.
Right.
But then it's interesting and enlightening to hear people look at it from a standpoint of being racist. And you go, well, I don't know why I wouldn't think that before. Of course, that that absolutely makes sense. But I was thinking stereotype in the way that a lot of things are stereotyped on that show.
Well, yeah, but see, here would be the difference. And I don't want to make their case because I really want to get Hurry in here, and I hope to do it this week. But their thing was they didn't have another Indian guy to look at, right in their life. So if you have a stereotype Jewish guy or a stereotype Irish guy or Italian guy, you're like, yeah, some of those guys are like that.
Exactly.
But then they're also like this.
Exactly.
So it was a very good point.
That there was no one else portraying like an Indian or South Asian character.
The only people that played South Asians were not.
Yes.
And that is, again, something that went right over my head.
The idea
as
of
being
brown
a bad
face
thing. Yeah.
was not...
Well, I always make the point of this, though. If you have a good actor, you're going to believe it. I always said, if Denzel Washington played JFK, you might, at the beginning of this, go, oh, what? 10 minutes into it, you're like, oh, shit, this Cuban Missile Crisis. You know what I mean? Because he's a good actor, and you're going to get caught up in the story. What I hate is when people go out of their way to put on a fake nose, or you know what I mean? Just play it with your own amount of humanity, because you're lying no matter who you say you are. You're acting is a form of, this isn't true, and I'm just going to perform. So what I always hate is when people go too far to try to look like Nixon or something. That takes me out of the movie more than anything.
Because then you're sitting there going, wonder how long you had to sit in that makeup chair. I think of that a lot.
And tell you. They'll go on, Fallon and be like,
I know.
4 hours every morning and then an hour to take it off. And I'm always like, why an hour?
Or you have to hear about someone's like weight gain or weight loss in the same way. And yes, if I see someone with like a fake nose, I'm just thinking about like them wearing a prosthetic through the experience of being at work all day.
By the way, I will give anybody credit for weight loss, but none for weight gain. So
it's
what
fun.
could be easier?
It feels good to gain weight.
A lot of times you don't even know you're doing it. Exactly. This is the perfect time of the year for it, where you will just be like, what? And then you're like, is something wrong with these pants?
Are we using a new detergent? Because everything feels so tight.
I could not tell your mom I could never be a nurse. can't help people when they're sick. I can only send a card. I would be the kind of doctor that would just write "get well soon," or "I didn't want to wake you."
Yeah, any people who are calm in serious crisis situations too, where something potentially horrible is happening, and they're just like, "All right, so here's what we're gonna do."
And that's exactly my mom.
I don't understand.
She's calm.
Yeah, very calm, very calm. I don't know. It's and you can see the tranquility on her face, as she goes through the motions of knowing what she has to do. It's crazy. It's kind of a little scary,
particularly when someone has their ear torn off or just something more horrific.
And she knows what to grab, what to do, apply pressure. She's very calm.
I bet the first thing she'd have to do, if she and I came up on a car accident, she'd have to slap my face to try to calm me down.
The best thing example I have of this is any circumstance in which I think that someone is choking, I yell at another person to do something. That's the best thing I can offer.
I have saved somebody choking before, and in Disney World. Do you ever hear about it? No. Why? I'm not like Vito going around bringing up stuff. It happened. It's done. I'm a quiet hero for myself.
I did call 911 while someone else did the Heimlich on someone.
Did the person live?
They lived, and the person successfully did the Heimlich. Well, also it wasn't working, and then he started to just stick his fingers down this is in a restaurant, down a stranger's throat, this man. Yeah. And then the guy eventually spit it up. Then the EMT show up, and instead of just being wow, congratulations, you did a great job in saving this man's life, they sat there and picked everything he did wrong. And I was like, but he saved him. And they're like,
what did he do wrong?
We could have done it. Because they were like, you never stick your fingers in someone's throat because they could bite your fingers off. And he was
what?
He couldn't breathe. He was turning blue. I didn't know what to do.
What do you get, a coat hanger when you open up an unlocked car? I can't imagine.
No.
But I have always, and this is true, ever since I was a kid, wanted to perform a tracheotomy on somebody.
You do? Oh
yeah,
my
because
God.
I saw it on a MASH episode where Father McKay, did it, and you just put, he had a pen, so I was saying, whatever, I see a pen, just give me a clear tube.
Like a straw.
Straw could collapse. You have to be very careful.
True.
So you put that little hole there, and then once you put the pen in, they say that the throat closes around the pen.
Oh no, I can't. Something about a tracheotomy really scares me, to the point that I even remember when I was a little, really little, I found out what the term tracheotomy was and what it meant. Yeah. And I remember going to my mom and saying, promise me that if I'm ever in need of a tracheotomy, you'll let me die. I was a child, and my mom's like, what are you talking about? I will stab you in the throat. Yeah. And I was like, do not do that. I don't know why we were arguing about this. I was very little.
I don't know why she just doesn't say yes to things.
I know.
You're a kid. You have no choice anyway.
And she's like, I will stab you in the throat. Please, Mom,
I remember
let
just
me die.
saying to the kids, I'll be watching the TV and I'll be like, yeah, you can be an astronaut. Oh, no, astronaut school or something. You kind of seem like an astronaut to me. Because they're not going to do it. They just act like they want to. So what are your other... So you're at a nursing place, as in...
Yeah, for work. It's per diem.
Yeah. So. And then what's your third?
Oh, I also intern at Atlantic Records.
That's really cool.
Man.
That is. It really is. So
that's one of the great record labels of all time.
Yeah. Did you get to see a lot of cool people since you were interning there?
Who are the coolest?
Well, this Cardi B I met.
Yeah.
Some rappers, Kodak Black. No, so far. That's it there.
That, that was the label that had Ray Charles, and it was just such an amazing label. Led Zeppelin was on that label, and they recorded right up on Ray Charles has recorded on 56th Street at this place that's there's not a sign, there's not anything, and I'm always like, these people are walking all over the city. You wouldn't want to go into a room where Ray Charles record it what I say?
Yeah.
That wouldn't be thrilling to you? That'd be the first thing I'd want to do. And they just don't give a shit in New York. They don't put up a plaque for some of this stuff.
No. They're just over it. They're on to the next thing all the time.
Yeah, that label, change music. Change music. You know who loves it? English people. English people can tell you everything about it. They sit down, they know everybody, they know all the players, you know, the session players.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, because we're stupid. But English people still sit around and listen to music. Like, music isn't just a pastime for them. Then here's something else about English people. They will stand in a field all day, shoulder to shoulder, to listen to music and watch it. Where we're always moving around. Like, you go to an outdoor show here and there's like half the crowd is up and moving.
Yeah,
and
walking
talking
around like a turkey leg,
Yeah.
getting beers and stuff.
I see people, because I'll go to see a lot of the classic rock stuff. So I'm like, you grew up in this music. This has been your music for 30, 40, 50 years. Why are you wandering? Why are you still acting like it's cool to get beer?
I know.
You can fucking drink beer every day of your life. You're an adult.
I saw Neil Young at Barclays, and I was shocked because obviously it's an older crowd.
Right.
And I was shocked how fidgety, never sitting down during the whole show, up and down, and constantly running to get beer. And then standing in the back, socializing, talking in the back while they were drinking beer. And I was like, these aren't cheap. I mean, even the cheap tickets aren't cheap.
Yeah, but they got money.
But still,
They
it
got
just
money,
seemed
but
like-
they no longer have patience.
Yeah, it
And
was,
you a little pain.
and they were just could not have a beer in their hand.
I know, and people say that it's the young people that are fidgety. Everyone on this planet's fidgety now.
Yeah, I agree.
Everybody. And people they find it more and more difficult to find something precious. It's like embarrassing to people to find like an art form precious.
Yeah.
They can't do it. They can't say, "Oh, this is something that I love." And
Do
it matters to
you
me.
find yourself being fidgety, like checking your phone or doing something like that when you're enjoying something?
No. I like to be in that. I don't want to act like I'm better than people, but I like that experience more than most people do. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The phones being out is just like crazy too.
The phones are very difficult for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, it's there's always somebody's always yelling something to me about like something that Trump did. You know what I mean? This like they're breaking the news, like they're Tom Brokaw all of a sudden. Did you hear? Trump just signed this thing. I'm like, let me get home.
Came through on Twitter right
Yeah. Yeah. They just immediately want to be that person that tells you something happened. And 99% of the time it's Trump. You know, Trump said something or did something.
I do feel like a little weird if you're in a conversation with someone and they start to like pick up their phone and look at it and it's just like the two of you in a conversation. Because I almost feel like you should be like, oh, what are you looking at? Because it's just we were just here.
I remember you know what? I have a tendency to grab my phone then. I go, okay, it's phone time. But I remember the first time somebody wasn't paying attention at dinner, and it was Don Wicklin.
Really?
Yeah.
With a smartphone?
Yeah, it was the company gave us all Blackberries so that we could never have a moment's peace, I guess.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm doing a show tomorrow. There's really nothing for me to talk about. I remember going home and not talking to anybody until the next day from work.
Right.
It wasn't that big of a deal. No one ever thought, oh, remember, you have a job.
You'd show up to work and you're like, so what's with today? What are we going to do?
We did that every day. I remember when I started radio, me and Ron Diaz, we used to drive in on the same road, and I would see him because we were doing morning radio, and we were both flying down the road and both listening to the news station. And that would be the first thing that we would talk about. We would just say, I heard this in the news on the way in. And that would be the start of the show. And then people would bring in things as the show was going on.
Right.
But we didn't prep or have a prep sheet or check to see what we would say. We would just feel like, well, at 6 o'clock in the morning, the first 15 minutes to 45 minutes, this is going to be a clusterfuck.
Right. So we've all just woken up, right?
We're going like this. What? What did he do? So he's dead?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. This happened last night. You didn't sit around and just... The news wasn't something... Well, remember the other day I told you when we were all at the urinals and somebody has their... And I want to say, it's one of the hosts here. He has their cell phone out and he's like bringing up the Russian probe.
Right.
That was the bad information that the ABC guy got. So instead of being able to just pee, I'm getting bad information, which I then walk down the hall and repeat on the air. Because no one has any time at all to see if something's true. And how many times do you just see that that news is now just what one person tweeted at the other? And you're just like...
So much.
It'll always be like somebody's amazing takedown of... And you're like, takedown? Did the other person even see it? I mean, I don't go around reading tweets in my off time. I guess I've been taken down a few times. I don't know. I'm trying to think of who said to me about Twitter. I'm gonna have to bring it up, but he just said he never thinks of it as real. It just doesn't matter what you say on there. You know what I mean?
Right. So, like, when people say something that's shitty, I kind of remember you telling me about this, but now I can't remember who it was.
Chris, do you remember? Because they said it on the show.
Was it someone on the show? Yeah, it was on the show.
It's on the show. I'm trying to remember, too.
Yeah, they were saying, like, whether somebody says something bad or good to
Was it somebody from SNL said it?
I don't think so. It was pretty recent, though.
For some reason, I'm thinking SNL, but I don't know. But I'm like, yeah, that is kind of true. This doesn't matter.
Right.
It's up to you whether you read it and get obsessed, you know, and then want to do a double takedown back.
Right. And this is all, like, for the most part, things that people would just, like, think. Especially when it's, like, an opinion about a show. I mean, maybe we're thinking SNL because it's, like, the people, like, give their opinions so quickly on SNL. Like, they're just like, this
who from
sucks.
SNL has done this show?
Che?
It was Che.
Yeah.
It's definitely Che. Thank you. Because I was thinking Bobby Moynihan, but...
Yeah, I think it was Che.
Bill, in Wyoming.
Yes, sir.
What's up, buddy? What can we do for you?
Trying to get a poster.
Now, why would anybody in Wyoming want a poster? What are you going to do with a poster in Wyoming?
I'm going to frame it and hang it on the wall.
Wow. That's actually touching.
That's really sweet.
You get one.
Yeah.
Vito, did you get any of these signed in posters up on the social media yet?
No, we'll be doing that right now.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
First thing.
I know. How about when Chris gave you the after work stuff today, and you're like, no, that's not it at all?
Yes. There was an oversight there.
Was yesterday crazy?
Yesterday was crazy.
And then here was the problem. So we're recording a lot of year-end wrap-up, but Vito has us doing it in bits and pieces and out of order.
Yes.
So I have zero idea where I am in this wrap-up show.
But he swears that he has everything.
He swears that he has it.
Figured out.
Why all this confusion is happening, my blood sugar just drops through the floor. I don't know where I am. And I'm like, then I completely remember that the Brooklyn popcorn truck is
nice.
out, right?
Yeah, those are
And then Vito says to me, that's there all winter, my man. You could have it every day in the winter. And I'm like, you don't think I should go down, have a smoke, and get out? It's there all the time. I come down after the show, and it isn't there. And it was like I just got the news that a friend was killed, that I wasn't getting this popcorn.
God.
Just because my blood sugar was fucked. And then I also noticed it wasn't sitting there today when I came back. It's a lie.
So,
I'll never see that truck again.
So it's not sitting there all winter.
Last year it was there all winter.
I work here. I don't see it there all winter because anytime I see it, I go over and get myself some Brooklyn popcorn.
No, I'll find it for you.
I'm tired of Manhattan popcorn.
If it moved a block away, I'll fucking go there.
I don't want to be in that world. I don't want to live like I have to know and trace this thing. It was a lucky thing. I saw the truck. That was it. I wanted to take my lucky moment.
Why did
don't
you
need
stop
to?
him?
And him saying it's there all winter. I'm like, I didn't fight with him, but I'm like, I was here last winter.
It wasn't
never there.
The pizza truck's here more often than the popcorn.
Ugh.
Yeah. I see people buying it. I'm like,
you can't make a pizza in a truck. It's that simple. You can't have the oven that you need to make a pizza in a truck. I'd rather have a pizza in a cup. Anybody remember the jerk? Go ahead, raise your hand.
I remember.
That thing is no longer woke. That made fun of people that were stupid.
Right. And cross-eyed.
You know, I think in the future, people are going to look back and go, they used to make fat jokes back then.
Yeah.
They're disgusting.
Like about people's weight.
Yeah.
And they're going to come back at all you guys and go, in 2017, did you or did you not say, hey, lardass, make sure that you put that ice cream down? You know what I mean? And it's going to sound like the N-bomb
Like,
in the future.
And you're like going to be like, well, we were friends. I always thought it was a funny thing to say.
I've called Vito fatty plenty of times. Like probably hundreds
Fatty
of
gets
times.
used like a term of endearment between us.
Yeah, we call each other fatties.
It's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
It's gonna be called the third F word.
I also noticed that most times we look back and look at when like people called each other fat in the past, we're always like, they weren't that fat back then.
No.
Yeah,
there was actually a movie called Fatso. And that guy is thinner than most people that you see in 2017. And when this movie came out,
oh my God,
that's Fatso.
He's chubby cheese.
He's like he's a 1XL. That's not even a 2XL.
The funny thing is, he did eventually grow into being a gigantic man. But this whole thing was like he couldn't stop eating.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. What does he look like there? About 240, 245?
If that.
I mean, I would say he looks out of shape, but I would say...
By the way, Chris is yelling at because he calls himself 245.
I'm a medium, Ron.
Dude, that guy is just like a little out of shape.
He's got a gut. That's it.
I think that's what they call today a dad bod.
Yeah, like he looks like a... Like,
by the way, that's going to reflect badly on dads. You know what I mean?
But it always gets used as like a positive. Yeah, like they're like, I love a guy with a dad bod. It's always like girls being like nice about it.
But it's celebrity dad. It's like specifically like Leonardo DiCaprio. It's not like actual dad bods. Like, nobody's looking at my body like, hey.
You don't have a dad bod.
You don't have a dad bod.
Like a really fat dad bod.
You have a fat bod.
So do I.
You don't have
We said dad bod, not eating disorder bod.
Like a dad who's just like had a really like rough few.
No, a dad
Was your dad a big guy?
No, he was actually pretty skinny.
You got a picture of him?
I could, yeah.
On you?
Yeah, my mom texted me one the other day.
Texted? What did she write? You're so much fatter than your dad?
She said you would look like him if you didn't weigh so much.
I can't believe he's just like, yeah, people like Leonardo DiCaprio and not me. Yeah, you're not in that category.
I should
and
be.
Leo
You
does.
look nothing like Leonardo
Are you kidding me? Have you looked at me lately?
You do not have a dad bod. A dad bod is like maybe like a beer belly or like a little barrel chested.
I'm barrel chested and I drink a good amount
Is
of
that
beer.
Vito or Leo? You can't tell the fucking difference.
If you got to that size, we'd be screaming, eat at you. There's something wrong.
Go up to the water gun picture. We look alike in that picture.
You don't look alike, dude.
No, man, this is fucking dad bod. That's it. You're making shit up. You got body dysmorphia. You think you look like Leonardo DiCaprio?
Body dysmorphia would mean I thought I was fatter than I am.
It goes both ways.
Wait, hold on. Now I'm seeing the water gun picture, and he thinks he's as fit as
Yeah, that's me.
Get the fuck out of here.
Me and him. Peas and pod.
No, Vito.
The only reason we think that guy is fat is because we watched him grow up.
Right.
That's the only reason. Because
We've
when he was a
seen
kid,
him
he was so
thin.
skinny. He was like the skinniest 14-year-old around. I can't wait to see this picture of his dad.
Yeah, me too. His dad bod.
What are you waiting for? Where do you have
group
this?
text.
I'm loading it.
Loading it.
You want a group text?
Yeah,
with
text
it?
so we all can see it. At the
I
same
don't
time.
want it on my phone.
Hey guys, this is a picture of my dad. Everybody send their dad.
Everyone's.
Chris?
I'll show you my dad's Navy pictures. How come it takes him so long, Chris?
I don't know. If Leslie just texted it to him the other day, she'd be able to find it pretty quickly.
You're trying to call shenanigans on this.
I know.
There is no fucking picture of his dad. He's texted his mom now.
You're
He's got
so
to text him.
weird.
Oh, that's a good plan.
That's what's happening.
I bet he is.
He's covering his ass. You're trying to cover your ass, aren't you?
You caught that liar.
You and your mom are both liars.
Don't you fucking dare talk
All
about
right,
my
you
mom.
two.
Come on.
Stop
What's
it.
his- what is
Stop
he
it.
getting
Come
at?
on. Let's never go there.
Okay.
Chris put a story on the iBang that he was shocked that a guy robbed a Wawa and got $13,000. And Chris didn't think that there would be $13,000 at a Wawa.
I didn't think, only because most people just use cards. I don't think people are losing cash less and less. So I was very surprised that there was 13 grand in there.
People in PA like to carry a goddamn money roll with them at all times.
Yeah.
I didn't know everyone had a roll in PA.
Big bills on the outside.
I don't ever like to go and use a card.
I use it constantly, and I'm always really paranoid. Like if I use an ATM that's a little shady, I'm like, there's definitely a card reader on this.
Yeah, I don't like to play that game. I was on the grand jury, and a giant part of it was just card readers.
Really?
Taxis, ATMs, across the board.
I had my card fucked up like that from an ATM that was inside my bank.
Yes.
Inside. I mean, like one of those little vestibule ones, but still like in the bank. So normally I would be nervous for like the ones that are just like outside of a bodega at night and you go, okay, somebody definitely stuck something on. But somebody did that to one that was inside the fucking bank.
No, by the way, if you want to know the truth, and this isn't woke, it's a stereotype nationality that's doing 100% of that. Just write down what everybody, because everybody write down what they think.
I'll write down what I think.
Yeah.
You can put it.
All right. I'm pretty sure I'm right. I got mine.
It's weird, but I'm going to say.
All right, Gail, show me yours. That's really racist.
Here's mine, Ron.
Yours is racist.
Why is it racist?
I like her answer. She picked two.
Oh, you didn't write down, right, Vito?
Not right down.
Yeah, because you're still trying to text.
I sent the picture to Gail. She has it.
Oh, the group text.
None of you got it right, although one of you were probably closest. You said white.
Really?
I'll just say Russians.
Really?
It's always the Russians.
Interesting.
ex-KGB.
Wow.
Running, they run a lot of stuff that the Italians used to run in.
Just basically stealing credit card numbers. Wow. I know. I was way off on my guess. Now I do seem like a racist.
Yeah.
Vito, what was your dad? An organ grinder? He's sitting here with this monkey going to the park? Is that you when you're little?
Yeah, that's me.
Adorable. Look at the face on him.
I know. So cute.
I'll say this about your dad. Bottom heavy.
Yeah.
A pear-shaped man.
Opposite of me.
Yeah.
Look at little baby Vito.
He's so round.
I
round
know.
Face.
Yeah, of course.
Look at
he's
that little
round.
round pumpkin head, too. He's got Vito, not his dad.
At this point, he was already eating 2 plates of gnocchi. Well, yeah, an ice rink.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Let me see this.
Great mustache.
Yeah, I used to think he looked very much like Keith Hernandez growing up.
I mean, I was much cuter as a baby, but I do like his mustache.
You look like a touch and go baby. Yeah, he does have a Keith Hernandez look about him.
Yeah.
Did he play ball?
No.
Gotcha.
I believe he did shot put.
Shot put?
What?
That's a rare thing to hear.
Shot put.
Because when I did shot put in high school for little, my mom was like, just like your dad. And I was like, what?
She made that up to make you feel good. That's so sweet of her.
Just wanted to carry the family legacy with the shot put.
You didn't do the hammer toss, or what did you do? Try to keep it somewhat in this century?
Khaleesi shot put dynasty. I was really going to keep it going.
Did you yell when you let go of it?
Yeah. I yelled dad as I threw the ball every time.
It's really sad. Wait, where were you doing shot put at school? They offered it as a.
No, I joined the track and field team, mainly the field, obviously, and we practiced in the gym where we were just throwing the balls and shit, and then we went to a field on the weekends to do competitions.
You ever win?
I never made it as far to a competition. I quit after a week.
God.
Just like your dad. The Khaleesi family dynasty. Bunch of quitters. Gail, you're into the Great British Bake Off now?
Oh my God, I just started and I love it. I've just watched
Did it make you sleepy?
It did. It did make me very sleepy. It's a very relaxing show.
Yeah.
And I think not only because of the baking, not only because of the accents, but like the fact that they're like in that like pretty little tent outside. So like the lighting
outside,
is
and there's
nice.
Fields and they're like little sheep walking around.
I know.
And
There's
stuff.
like little black lambs that they keep doing like B-roll shots of, and they're so cute.
Here's the thing about that show, and Tim Dillon is the person who brought it up to me, but
glad that he
Mateo Lane is into
really?
it big. It gets a little tenser as you get towards the finals, even though no one gets their own bakery or $150,000 like we do here.
It's just
you
the
just
honor.
be like your top baker, and you see that they're nervous. And I'm wrapping up season 2, and I got a little choked up with a meat pie when some of the juices went in and destroyed the bottom crust.
Oh, that's
I'm like,
heartbreaking.
oh my God, she's been so strong all year. And then something like this happens.
A meat pie incident.
And I'm like, why would she put black pudding in the middle of the layers? Her layers are not staying straight. But it's very much like a liquid Valium.
I
You know
like
what I mean?
like what the middle challenge is. It's like something that they
Technical?
don't know. Yeah, the technical challenge. But they don't know what's coming up. And then the one episode I just watched, they were like had to do like make Florentine cookies.
Jim Florentine
And
cookies.
little Jim Florentine cookies, which I love. And I was going crazy because they were just trying to remember what Florentine cookies look like. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're doing the drizzle wrong. That's not how they look.
I know.
That's too much chocolate.
It's upsetting. I saw someone the other day that didn't grease their bowl.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, how are you going to get it back out of there?
You're never going to get it back out. It's going to stick.
Now, my favorite thing to watch people make is like a great bread. I don't like a fancy cake. I don't look like a cake that looks like a carousel or a rock concert.
That's so interesting you said that because the last challenge that I just watched was the 3D kind of gingerbread challenge. And I was like, this is not my favorite moment.
Yeah.
But I do like just like the straight up, like where they're like having to bake something that's just like a classic.
If you can bake great bread or a croissant or...
Yeah, a croissant I think is just like perfect. Like that's like you're a masterful baker if you can make a perfect croissant.
I saw a thing the other day on Thrillist. Everybody lean in because you're going to be so excited like this.
Okay.
There's a place in Brooklyn, and this looked delicious. It's a croissant ice cream sandwich.
Oh, shit.
Which I couldn't even believe that I didn't even invent in my mind.
Yeah.
You know, that should have been something I came up with.
So is it stuffed with, like, it's like the croissant is piped in?
Infused with, it looked like a perfect, go ahead and look it up if you want to.
I need to know where
it
this
looked like perfect ice cream. A lot of good stuff in Brooklyn. You got to make your way around Brooklyn. There's no, like, Brooklyn eating scene. You know, that's the problem with Brooklyn.
Is that it?
No, that isn't
That says Union Square at the top of this.
I'm going to check Thrillist.
Why don't you? I remember the first time it was on the Wildwood Boardwalk that I saw ice cream on waffles, and I felt like I was a little kid. I'm like, this is a thing? This exists in the world?
This is decadence that I didn't know.
By the way, writing a screenplay now.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's edgy, and I think the kids are going to like it. I call it the Kardashian murders. And each of the Kardashians are being killed one at a time.
Oh, my God. And you've got to figure out who done it.
And yet it's right there in front of your face the whole time. Scott Disick.
Of course. Of course it's Scott.
Is it blue marble ice cream?
Let's take a look at that, Chris.
But I don't want to do a murder mystery dinner, though.
No, that's too messy for what I saw.
Yeah.
That's
Look
way
it
too
up in
messy.
Brooklyn specifically.
Why aren't you putting in Brooklyn?
Yeah, why
I
don't
did,
you-
and they had it in this Thrillist list. It had it come up as from blue marble ice cream.
What is that list? Doesn't even look like anything I would have seen before. There's no. Normally they let you click in.
Yeah, there's like pictures.
Thank you.
I'll find it.
So you think I can sell that screenplay?
Yeah, definitely. I think it has something for everyone.
Because Because you're going to think Chloe did it for a while.
Yeah.
But then when she turns up dead, you're like, it's got to be Disick. I was thinking about Caitlyn Jenner being the murderer, but I don't need the backlash.
No, because that's going to seem like an attack.
How about Rob? Or you think does Rob like get killed early?
Rob Kardashian, the brother?
Yeah.
Why would he kill his own sisters?
He's not sick, Chris.
I thought maybe the Black China thing just made him go crazy.
That's all over?
I believe it's all over. From as far as I've caught up on it.
I don't know. It always seems like there's always
How was she
drama going
famous?
on with
How
that.
was Black China famous?
Music?
I think, yeah, like music videos.
Why didn't she try to sell plate sets called Black China?
I thought she was a stripper.
She was a stripper, and she was married to Tyga. Well, not married, just they had a child.
Married.
You know everything.
They
you know.
were. Is that an ice cream sandwich?
That's
Yeah,
not
why
nice.
are you on the? I don't want to look at pictures of Black
I mean,
China.
we know what she looks like.
I'm not finding this croissant.
I know you're not, Chris. When do you ever come
But that
through?
looked like a Thrillist article with pictures on it.
But I
He
searched
doesn't care.
croissant and it didn't come up.
Oh, brother.
This would have just been sent to me like, I like a good donut too. Where's the place that you get donuts?
Peter Pan donut in
I don't think that's the one I like. It had another name.
well, that's the one in Brooklyn. Yeah. Oh, Dough. Are you thinking of
That's the
Dough?
one, yeah.
Yeah, because I used to live near Peter Pan, then I lived near Dough.
Yeah, I think I like dough better.
Yeah, Dough is
I like Planet Donut in Manhattan too.
Is that the square ones?
No, there's the one that sell the creme brulee.
Oh yeah,
Donut.
They're great.
So I think, have we ever had baking shows in America? I don't think I like the American backstory. The fact that you don't even know these people was very nice.
Yeah.
You know?
There was one on Food Network where that was like they made people bake and they gave them like random ingredients to bake with. Is that how the British one is?
No, of course not. You're trying to make good food.
Okay.
They're trying to make like not silly stuff. They're trying to make like
They're not trying to
classic-
trick anyone into baking something bad. They're trying to see who can bake.
This isn't Cupcake Wars, Chris.
I'd look. It wasn't Cupcake Wars. It was another show with a bald guy who was hosting it. And there was a conveyor belt, and they would have all the ingredients he wanted them to use.
This sounds like a lot of shenanigans.
It was
You're
mostly
going-
shenanigans.
You're going deep into something no one else cares about, Chris.
I'm just looking for this croissant ice cream sandwich.
Forget it. Mike in Jersey, Mike.
Hey, what's going on, pal?
Yeah.
I was thinking the Kardashian murder movie, the killer should be Bruce Jenner.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I don't need the, that same thing happens whenever, like Basic Instinct, they had a lesbian killer and everybody was mad. And the cross-dressing killer in Silence of the Lambs made everyone furious.
Right.
I don't need the heat. When we'll just, I'll just say Disick did it, and everybody be like, yeah, that makes sense.
The white dude.
He's fucking nuts.
100%. You want this to be a woke kind of situation.
I might even just call it woke murders.
Okay, good. So then you know what you're getting into.
Photoshop Mike, old buddy.
Oh, guys, man, it's been such a long time. Miss you guys.
Let me tell you something about Photoshop Mike. He could come in here and do like makeup on you, and nobody would wreck you. You'd be able to leave the country.
Really?
He just transforms like movie makeup.
That's
He can do.
amazing.
He did.
That was a lot of fun.
He did a zombie mask for Fez years ago.
Oh, he did that?
Yes.
Oh, that was
he's
fantastic.
Brilliant. He's brilliant.
Yeah. After that, I mean, I wound up working in like Hollywood production stuff, doing special effects makeup for a bunch of big films for a couple of years, and now I'm kind of out of it professionally now. But
you're out of the
best
game.
time of my life, man. Well, no, I still do a couple independent films here or there.
Yeah.
Music videos, but nothing. My full-time gig has changed a bit. You know, the hours are really just long and terrible. But some of the best times of my life, just doing makeup on Fez and coming in the studios, just really, man. And then walking down to Times Square after was great.
Yeah, it was crazy. Now, I always wondered about this. How do they know how to do TV makeup when you look ridiculous in real life, but then you go in front of a TV camera, and no one ever will be like shooting with film while you're doing that? You know what I mean? You would think that they would go, is this working?
Yeah, like anytime you see an actor on the street who's just come from a shoot or a model, they look kind of crazy, like that thick. Or like if you just see one of these guys from like one of the morning shows and they're on their coffee break. Yeah, it looks weird. You're like, that looks really bizarre. But then it looks perfect.
Yeah, a lot of that is going to be just the lighting. Lighting really does have a lot to do with the way a prosthetic looks on your face. Natural lighting will almost make it look fake in some cases, but if you can run it through certain filters, and you can have a bunch of different PDs kind of work and stuff, and kind of get the whole room set, and it looks perfect on film. It looks perfect on television.
Lighting is directing. It really is. And then you're like so frustrated. You're like, just fucking shoot it. But you know what I mean? Like the guys that really are anal about their lighting have the most beautiful films.
Yeah, totally. I wanted to call you guys. I wanted to say hi, and I really, really, absolutely wanted to see if I can grab one of those posters from you. I missed the event, and I've been kicking myself in the backside ever since.
Yeah, it was one of the greatest of all time. All right, you're in, Mike. Great to hear from you.
Awesome.
What are you writing down, Chris?
Mike's number, just so we have it to contact him.
Why are you writing it down? You're over in here.
Just to double check, just in case they didn't catch it.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I have it. Yeah.
Okay. That's good, then. You're producing over there.
Yeah.
And lighting is producing, Chris.
That's what I've just learned.
Now, here's the thing about Chris. He cares zero about sound. In our business, right, sound is our lighting.
Yeah.
And Chris is like, it doesn't matter. He doesn't care whose mic is on, what it sounds like.
You should.
Every once in a while, we'll have a guest and somebody will come in and move their mic real slow. Like they're trying not to be noticed. They'll be like this. And everything stops to look at the person moving.
You're like, are you okay?
What are you doing? I hope this isn't bothering you.
By the way, that is something that I've noticed. Is every once in a while, a guest will have like a question or a side like that, like, "Oh, is it okay if I move this?" And they will whisper, and you're like, "This is radio, and that's a microphone." So you're like, "Is it okay if I just?" And you're like, "They can hear what you just said."
This is Ron and Gail, and they're gonna talk to you and ask you some questions about yourself. Just answer them. Answer them into this stick. Do I get a break here, Chris?
We should break and do a live read.
Well, what is the live read about?
Nest.
That's one of my favorite things to talk about now. If you're like most people, you still have no clue what to get anyone for the holidays. Nest wants to make the holidays easier for you. Right now, buy any Nest product over $99 and get a Google Home Mini for free. That's right. Any Nest product purchased over $99 will get you a Google Home Mini at no extra cost.
Google Home Mini is a voice-activated speaker with Google Assistant built in. They say it helps you get answers, manage your day, and get hands-free help around the house. You can ask if your flight is on time or to add eggnog to your shopping list.
Nest products and Google Assistant work together to control your smartphone. So you can say things like, make it warmer, and your Google Assistant will turn up your Nest thermostat. You need to hurry, though, because this offer ends December 31st. Go to Nest.com or visit your nearest Best Buy, Target, or Home Depot. With Nest and Google Home Mini, the holidays just got better, a mini bit better. Bennington Show, 844 Rock God. 844 Rock God. Lenny in Michigan. Lenny, what's up, buddy?
Bennington's. Hey, do you guys ever watch any series on Amazon Prime?
Yes, yeah. We're both Amazon Primers.
Okay, well, I'm kind of new to it, and I thought there's one that I thought you guys might be interested in. It's called The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Oh, I saw the pilot on this like 6 months ago. It's basically the Joan Rivers story from when she was young, but they don't call her Joan. But it's this housewife coming into the city to do sets in the 1950s.
Oh,
that
sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's not meant to be a comedy. It's more of a drama, sort
Dramedy.
of like a Bewitched kind of setting, like the way they sort of set it up. It's really well done.
Yeah. I only saw that because maybe they were going to do it somewhere else and why I got it early. But, it's comedy in the way that it's about comedy, but it's, the struggle being a woman who wanted to do comedy in the 1950s.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to make sure I watch that. I appreciate it, my friend.
Yep.
Peace.
Never not be watching shows.
I know, it's so hard.
And you know what I just started up on is the second season of Search Party.
I forgot about that. How far in are you?
6 episodes. But
you liking it?
That's as far, because like they don't put all out at once, so we're only 6 episodes in, so you could catch up quick, because those are like really short episodes. And yes, I am loving it, and it's super dark, just like it was last year, but in a different way, but still so funny and weird.
I did not know that if they'd be able to follow that weird place that they put themselves.
Yeah.
And you think they have?
Yes, and I think, that's mostly a testament to like the comedic aspects of it, and just like that panic, and the way that they all like when they start to all like play off each other. And John Early is so funny.
Chris, that would definitely be a show that I would love to have done an unmasked with, but we never know when things are happening. They come and go so fast. Have you guys seen Bridget's pilot on Amazon Prime?
So good.
I wonder if that'll get picked up. It's so strange.
I would love for it to get picked up, but yes, it's like one of those things, like I hope enough people saw it, were interested in it, and want to see more, because it's very, very bizarre.
Yeah, it's great. She's great. I love like the weird sex scene right from the beginning. It's just such madness. And, but I can see how that would be a turnoff to a certain segment of the population.
Right.
For quite a few different reasons. It's a challenging show, as they say. If you like your TV challenging.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get challenging, and other times you get
What is
British
the name
Bake
of the
Off.
show? Do you remember? Look at these guys. Everyone's shooting a documentary everywhere you go.
I know. It's called...
There's not a hip-hop guy who's not in the middle of a documentary.
I think it's called I Love You More.
Really?
Love You More.
Love You More.
It's a weird title for that.
Yes,
I never would have guessed that in a million years. Chris had something that he wanted to bring up to us. It's something that you've been stewing around with in your head, you said, Chris?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this for a long time.
And you've been afraid to come to us with it, or what happened?
Sometimes I get nervous.
All right.
Really?
No.
Okay.
You never seem nervous to me.
and I don't want to bring something up.
Is it about you stealing from the company?
I don't steal.
Because I told Don I thought it was you.
I'm glad it's finally come out.
You're always in here after everyone else has left.
I'm not
so
stealing.
It's easy for you to steal.
Stealing?
I'm not stealing.
I'm not stealing.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
I'm going to get a therapist for him. I think the words are right in his head, but by the time they come out of his mouth, he struggles with it. What is it, Chris? Stop coughing. What is it, boy?
Stop being so nervous.
I feel like I'm getting a lot older. Like at 34, I feel like I'm getting a lot older because I don't understand things like Snapchat and shit that like people just love. And
what is it that you? What is it that you're trying to say?
I'm asking you what interests does younger generation have that you don't understand at all? Because I still don't understand Snapchat.
Snapchat's over.
Yeah, it's done, man. Who cares?
And on the top of that, I don't understand Instagram stories, which is the same thing as Snapchat.
They're easy. They're just short little movies.
Yeah, but they disappear. Well, I don't like that they disappear and you only watch them once.
Why do you care?
Because it makes me feel old.
None of these. You are older than the people that are interested in it. So what? That's part of life.
That's what I'm learning, and I don't like it.
You're not sounding very woke right now.
You know what you need to do is get yourself a net too, so you can fit in with some of the others. But you're like, what's with this MySpace? Why are all the kids playing Atari games?
By the way, you're not that old, Chris.
I feel old.
Yeah, but guess what? You got a girlfriend now. You don't have to keep up with the fucking trends, all right?
You think?
That's Jen's problem in life. And Vito never will.
No.
You're older than me. by a lot. And you did something that I would probably say I didn't have an experience with, and it's hard for me to relate to, and that's like app dating, like Tinder.
You got into that.
Yeah.
You got into that easy. You even started blowing guys. Which is, what is that, gender fluid?
Yeah, and you're pansexual, you're gender fluid, you're everything. So this is stuff that we struggle with.
He will take any gender's fluid. That's his thing, which I think is brilliant.
Smart.
Thank you.
You don't have to keep up, Chris.
I want to keep up, though.
Look at Jen. She's not out at the club every night anymore.
She's
How
grown
often
up.
do you go out to clubs?
Probably like every other weekend.
And you go to Jersey clubs too?
Mostly Jersey clubs.
Oh.
Why?
Do you dance?
I do. Well, you know, I'll do a little two-step, not anything like...
Two-step? What do you... what is this, Urban Cowboy?
I think everyone has a two-step. It's like country music, hardcore, hip-hop. Everyone has a two-step.
Chris doesn't. He's getting old.
What's with these two steps? In my day, we could step wherever we wanted.
All right, since fucking Chris's thing blew up on the launch pad.
Oh, no.
Should we go to a Jen or a Vito now? Who do you feel seems like they're going to bring up something worth discussing?
I'm going to say
that Snapchat thing.
Okay.
Because
you're out.
No, you're done.
You're out. No,
I would say
you get one fucking strike and you're out in this business.
Because Vito is so much like Chris, I'm going to say let's just skip over him.
That's smart.
Let's go.
That's right.
Just to be safe. Because that's kind of like a vote for you already.
If either one of them strikes out, there's 2 outs. Because they're both, it's like they both struck out. All right, Jen, your opportunity. I hope it's about Snapchat.
So yesterday, me and Vito went to a movie.
Whoa!
Oh, yeah!
Dude.
Dude,
this is fucking incest in my opinion.
Okay, a lot has changed since I had my sick day, guys.
Yeah. All right, first of all, let's try to guess what movie they saw. I'm going to guess Lady Bird.
No.
Something cartoony?
No.
Did you guys go see?
I think they saw 3 billboards together.
No.
It's maybe this is a hint. It's a movie that I couldn't see in New Jersey because it's only came out.
Call Me by Your Name?
Oh.
No.
It's at the Paris. So it's an independent film.
Yes.
Is it the new Woody Allen?
No.
I'm lost on this. Just tell us, Jen.
Okay, it's Disaster Artist.
Congratulations.
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, great.
I was dying to see it. I couldn't see New Jersey, so Vito's like, oh, let's just go
Is
here.
it because you like him?
I love James Franco's cute.
Oh, we put up a thing on the iBang. They count down the James Franco best of movies, so we'll get to that. But the Disaster Artist, I'll give this away, came in 3rd of the all-time James Francos.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Now, and did you like the movie?
I loved it. It was, and I never saw The Room, so I didn't really have anything to base off.
Yeah.
But like,
I don't think anybody has.
I have.
You have?
I have, yeah.
The whole thing?
I have.
How
yeah.
did you see it?
I think it was maybe when it was either when I was in college or just when I was out of college. Just people started to talk about it. It started to get that like kind of buzz, like cult buzz, like this is the worst movie ever made, but you've got to see it. And I watched it with a group of friends, and it's so bizarre and funny, but I think it's only funny in that circumstance. Like if you had to just sit there and watch it on your own, it might frustrate you so
deeply. You got to be
deeply.
smoking pot with your friends.
Or at least like having a fun time.
I don't even want to do that.
Okay.
I don't like things that stink.
But it is a really, really bad movie to the point of being entertaining.
Is it bullying though when it's that kind of thing? I mean, you've got together to making fun of the polo.
Yes.
All right. So you saw this movie and you enjoyed it?
I loved it. So me and Vito, like, we got there really early. He's like an early movie type of person. Once it gets his I don't like that. So people were coming in like right before the movie started, during the previews, and we have to keep getting up and like.
I hate that.
So Vito was like really frustrated with it. But I'm like, I'm one of those people that come in 5 minutes before, because I don't want to sit there through all those previews, like 20 minutes.
What time of night did you see this?
We went at 6:45. The movie didn't start till like 7.
I never want to go to a movie at nighttime. I'm a daytime movie guy because I like to spread my shit out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It is. It's so much better when you're not dealing with a packed New York City theater. And
I don't like a packed theater anywhere. I like a nice, weird matinee, just me and a couple children watching a movie together. Now, your question was what? Should you never go to a movie with Vito again? The answer is yes.
No, my question is, are you one of those people that go to the movies right before it's about to start, or are you one of those people that go really early, sit through the previews, and does it bother you if people come in right before the movie starts?
There's nothing that bothers me until the movie starts. I'm not upset whether I miss a piece of a preview.
Right. But how late would you go into a movie, let's say? So if you know the movie started.
No, I don't go in.
Okay. See?
I do not go in if the movie's 2 minutes in. I don't watch a movie on television if it started. I'll look at it for a second and go, this looks good. When is it coming on again?
Yeah.
And then I will enjoy the movie. I'm not going to fucking sit there and try to wonder who are they running from? What are they upset about? What happened right before I got here?
When I went to go see the movie It, I watched people come into the theater 5 minutes after the movie started, 10 minutes after the movie started, 25 minutes, and then I would say one couple must have walked in 35 minutes into the movie. I don't even know how people do it.
I don't know either.
If I miss a minute, I'll be upset.
Done.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't even walk in.
Really?
No.
How late
it ain't a matter of probably for me. It ain't happening. I'm watching a movie, not part of a movie.
Jen, how late would you walk into a movie?
The latest I walked in, I was with my friends, like 30 minutes in.
Jesus Christ. Were you sneaking in?
I needed my money's worth. I didn't want to just go to the front and be like, oh, I want a refund. Because they start to bitch about that stuff. They're like, no, you already bought it.
First of all,
it's your fault. You're late.
If you bought the ticket, I would say, has the movie started? I see I'm late. Are they still running previews? Now, look, I don't care if I missed the previews. I don't care if people are quiet during the previews. I don't give a fuck about previews. I can watch a preview on my phone right there if I need to. But the movie, we're at a fucking movie now, okay? Settle your shit down.
See, even before previews, I already get into the zone that it's like, I'm like a library whisper, even pre-preview.
Oh, I know. I don't talk. Did you pre-buy your ticket normally? Is that the 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Don't pre-buy if you're not going to do it. I don't even understand pre-buying. I go up. Is it packed? Then I don't want to be in here anyway. Look at Vito. So much wants to be part of this conversation. You're not, buddy. Sorry. No, you're not part of it.
Chris messed up, not me.
Jen came up with something accepting.
Yeah.
You and Chris did not. You two struck out.
We suck.
And I already know your answers. Vito, you would never walk in late. Chris, you would. I already know.
I walked into the Force Awakens of Star Wars, missed the entire scroll of the backstory of what was happening. Who cares?
You know why you don't care? Because you fucking read the Wikipedia before you go to a movie anyway. You're an idiot.
That's why I know that he would come in late, because I know he's told me that he's been halfway through a movie. He's kind of into it, not really sure. And he will read the synopsis to find out the ending of the movie to know if it's worth continuing watching.
If Chris tells me that he loved the book, I'm like, you didn't read it. You probably read a page here and there, and you read the back fucking cover. And then you went and read the Wikipedia. I don't believe him about stuff. He's too much of a goddamn liar.
One of the things when we were walking to the movie, Vito said there was a Barnes & Noble that he used to go to whenever he'd watch a movie. He would go and buy the book right after it. And I thought that was so strange. I'm like, I'd rather watch the movie than go
He's just trying to make you think that he's cute and romantic.
No, the Barnes & Noble that used to be on 66, that's a Century 21 now. My favorite thing in the world. It used to be a Barnes & Noble. After leaving the theater on 64th, I used to go buy, I bought Catch Me If You Can when I was 8. I was fucking obsessed with Frank Abagnale after that movie.
Okay, stop it. This is why I didn't want you talking. No one wanted this to turn into a Frank Abagnale story. Your stuff gets too specific. We're trying to open it up to human beings discussing things. Now we're down to Frank Abagnale.
What's your favorite moment in Frank Abagnale's life?
By the way, guess who played him again? Leonardo DiCaprio.
My lookalike.
It's a full circle.
Hey, Bob in Baltimore.
Hi, Bennington. How you doing today?
What's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell Chris not to feel bad about not knowing about all the new modern stuff, because I once bought my grandparents a Mr. Coffee maker, and they had to return it because they couldn't figure out how to use it. So that's what you got to have.
Bob, let me tell you something. Chris had to fucking return a pack of matches because he didn't know how to use it. He goes like this. How am I supposed to get it? All the matches are stuck together.
Do you have any matches pre-fired?
David, what's up?
Yeah, what's up, Ronnie?
Yeah.
I think I'm very much like you when it comes to movies. I can't miss the first 2 minutes of it, and it's like that line in Annie Hall. I don't know if you know that line.
Yeah,
where
of course.
He's going to go in the movie, but he says, I have to watch the movie from the start to the end because I'm anal. You know.
Now that movie is that movie theater he's at is right. I live right there. They pulled that movie
I
theater.
haven't been there yet. I go to the Film Forum because I live in Jersey. I love the Film Forum. What do you think about that place?
Well, I mean, it's great to see old movies there. I mean, but it's not the best screens I've ever seen in my
small,
life.
Right?
Yeah, they're small
But
screens.
still great movies, and I'm getting pissed off at people with the goddamn cell phones now. They don't even give a shit.
No, people are fucked up.
I'm fucking sick of that shit, man.
I know. But this is
guys like Chris, you know.
Yeah, guys like Chris.
Yeah.
This is in modern times we live. He called me from a movie once.
Oh my God.
Yeah, to remind me some stuff I did that we had to do the next day. Is this our friend Omi? Hey,
Yes.
What's up, man?
What's going on, Ronnie?
Hey, dude.
What's going on, baby?
Good to talk to you. I haven't talked to you in a while.
Hey, Gail, how's it going? Yeah, I haven't been over there for a little while.
Yeah.
So, just wanted to call you and give you a heads up. 49th Street, once you come out the building, a little bit to your left, there's a popcorn truck right there.
The Brooklyn popcorn truck?
Brooklyn popcorn right there. But I'll tell you what, I don't think Vito's right, because that truck moves around.
I know it does. Vito's a
on
fucking
wheels.
maniac. But apparently there's for, I might try to run down at 3 o'clock before we start recording. Get myself some of that caramel corn.
Yeah,
Save it for tonight. And I'll enjoy
Yeah,
enjoy a little show.
Yeah, but Vito, I don't know what Vito's talking about. It doesn't stay one spot all the time.
Yeah, he's a piece of garbage.
He really is.
By the way, do me a favor, Omi. Just tell that story about when your car was stolen.
Oh, so right. So I get up. I'm a creature of habit, right? So I do things, and I just get used to doing things. So I get up in the morning, I go drop off some laundry, and I come back, and I run into the store to get some coffee and just something to eat for breakfast. So when I come back from the store and I go get, I leave the store, I go upstairs, and now I'm going about my business. So I had to run some additional errands. So I go downstairs to my garage, and my car's gone. Just not there. It's just like, so now I'm like, motherfucker. Somebody came into the fucking parking garage and stole the fucking car. So I'm looking at the spot as if the car's going to fucking miraculously come back. So I'm just looking at the spot. I don't know what to do with myself. I lean on another car, and I'm just thinking, I'm like, so at this point, I've just written off the car altogether. I'm like, all right, so I'm going to save the insurance money. Do I give up the parking spot? Do I not give it up? This, that, and the next. So I go upstairs, and I tell Diane, I'm like, you know what? She goes, what? The car got stolen. She goes, what do you mean? The car's stolen. It's not there. Somebody took it. And another thing that I'm just totally fucked up with, I had already pegged who set me up and took the car. I'm like, I know who it is. It's the people in the other spot over there. We kind of give each other the side, the little glaring look every time we see each other. It's like, we say what's up, but we know we don't like each other. So I'm like, it was them. They fucking set me up. They took my fucking car. So I'm like, she's like, fuck, this is fucked up. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I decided, I might as well just call 911 and, just report it stolen and everything. I called 911. They said, I said, yeah, I'd like to report my car stolen. They said, okay, well, was it stolen right in front of your face? Like, did you see it drive away? I said, no, no, it's just, I went to my parking spot and it's not there. They said, well, that's not what this is for. And they just hung up the phone on me. And it was just
They're saying it's not an emergency.
Yeah, it's not an emergency. You don't call this number. You call another number, and they just banged it on me. And so,
like, if you get carjacked, yeah, they'll come. But if you didn't, no.
Yeah, I'm in Yonkers, so I guess I was supposed to call like the equivalent of like 311. I don't know if it's the same in Yonkers. So I was like, oh, okay. So here I am. I'm like, you know what? This is some bullshit. So I'm ready. I'm about to go to the precinct. I said, all right, the precinct's in walking distance. Let me go to the precinct. And so, I totally written the car off. Now I'm thinking I got to get another car because I drive downtown every day. I got all this going through my head. And then Diana's like, well, you sure? What did you, did you use it last night? I was like, yeah, I totally used it last night. And, I'm going through the motions, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. She goes, what happened? I go, actually, never mind. The car is actually parked at the meter across the street from me.
Oh, my God.
He took the car out in the morning. He didn't walk. He spends a half a day going fucking crazy.
I fucking lost it. I lost literally, for like a whole 45 minutes, I didn't have that car. I've written it off.
That's like Fight Club, where you're doing something, you don't even know what you're doing.
The car was fucking dead to me. I got rid of it. I was already thinking about how much money I was saving in insurance and this, that, or the next.
It's good to talk to you, my friend.
Good to talk to you, but I'll see you soon.
All right, see you soon.
Peace.
He's the best, man.
I love that dude.
He fucking slays me, too. He fucking kills me. That fucking story told me one night out front of the stand. I had tears coming out of my eyes. Because I was so mad at the person that stole this car. Hey, Scott, Tennessee.
Hey, it's hard to follow that story.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I always get the dilemma of when I'm in a theater with like my girlfriend, and that's just me and her. There's a group of people, and forget race, it has nothing to do with that. It's just a group of people, usually younger, just talking their asses off the whole time. I'm just asking, polling the room there, who would say something?
The only way that I'm acceptable of it is if it's a bad movie and they're being funny. You know what I mean? Like someone heckles a bad movie, I'll think that it's funny that someone's trying to get a laugh. Other than that, I'll be like, hey, excuse me, we're watching a movie.
Yeah, there's certainly certain types of movies that, I guess it's just a different kind of vibe. So if people were calling out, laughing, even talking, you might think it was fun and part of the experience.
Yeah.
The only one I can really think of strongly was when I saw Get Out, and everyone was so loud, so excited. People stood up, people clapped, people gasped. They were like, holy shit. They were really interactive. But for the most part, I'm really not okay with talkers in the movie, even whisperers.
But if you go to certain theaters, that's part of the experience.
Right.
So if you go to 42nd Street,
exactly,
you're going to have that experience. You can't
that's
be
on you.
They're yelling shit out. It's like
I agree.
Young people trying to Rocky Horror it.
Exactly.
Because I couldn't even sit Rocky Horror. They were yelling out so many things.
That's
I'm
part
I
of
can't.
The fun.
Not for me. I'm I came here to watch a movie.
I can't follow the storyline.
Yeah. The Magic Johnson Theater is the same way. You go to Marina Franklin does a thing from not Silence of the Lamb. The one, the fucking ring, the missing ring. And she does a line that a guy yelled out, and she almost ends her show with it. It's not funny.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it is that experience.
But I will say, let's say we're just talking about a movie or even a comedy that it's not that kind of thing. It's not that kind of circumstance. And you just want to pay attention to the movie and somebody's talking. I'm furious, but it's a very tough situation to go, excuse me, because now, especially as a woman, if I'm there with my boyfriend, I'm putting him in the position that if this guy's a nut, then he's going to have to fight somebody. Right. And I don't like to do that. I don't want to be the mouthy girlfriend who makes the boyfriend have to stand up because I'm pissed off.
There's 3 ways that I see movies now. Screening room, which is nice, but you know, it is a screening room. It's not a theater experience. Them just sending it to me on my computer where I have to go through a thing. It annoys me, but it happens all the time when I have guests.
Yeah.
And then the third way is Chris, because he has zero pull with his own fucking publicity thing, sends me like 42nd Street to watch it in the theater. This is before the movie comes out, but I watch it with radio winners. And they're going to fucking yell out.
Yeah.
They're free radio winner things, and you're just going to have to sit there. And they get mad because I'm in the taped off area for the critics. And they yell shit at us. Like,
Why
you got
did
all
they
that
get
room.
those seats?
Well, we get a lot of room, and they're packed in. Some of them are
Right.
sitting on steps. They still won't let them come in.
Oh, my God.
So they fucking hate us.
Yeah, it says press and it's taped off.
Doesn't even say press. It's just taped. There's always like some kid on either side of the tapes telling them they can't come in. He's fucking barely holding it together. I wish it said press. But I'll tell him. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go.
Yeah, that's not great.
And you know, you go to 42nd Street, you're taking fucking escalators for 7 minutes up and 7 minutes down.
I know.
I hate
It's
that.
ridiculous. Like
Especially in the winter and you're in coats and it's so thick and you're going through lobby after lobby. Ugh.
And that's another one, like, you have to get there extra time because now you've got to at least assume it's going to take you a minimum of 10 minutes to get from your door to your seat.
Right. Have you heard this Call Me By Your Name movie? It's playing at the Paris right now. There's a lot of Oscar buzz on it. And it's like about an older gay guy with an underage gay guy.
Mm-hmm.
Completely loved and beloved by everybody.
Really?
If it was a fucking hetero movie, everybody'd be going nuts.
Yeah. I'm shocked that it is getting...
It's got the Winkle fucking Voss twins playing in it.
Army Hammer?
Yeah.
Rex Reed gave it 4 stars.
Yeah, of course he did. He's fucking lived it his whole life. Do you know that Army Hammer is the heir to the Arm and Hammer fortune?
What?
Yes.
Wow.
That's his family.
Holy shit.
I don't even know if he's the heir, but that's his great-grandfather, whoever started that fucking...
You would have thought that they would have come up with a more creative name for his first name.
Than Army? That's what the guy... He named Arm and Hammer after the fact that he's named Army Hammer.
Oh, my God. I didn't realize.
He's named after the founder. Not the guy from the McDonald's movie. That's Ray Kroc. Who also, no one ever realizes, invented Croc shoes.
Really?
Yeah. And the Crock pot. Fucking guy, he says he invented it, but he just came in and bought out somebody else's idea. Did you guys see The Founder?
I didn't see it.
I can't believe it's an entire movie of people I don't want to root for. Either side of it. I'm like, I don't give a shit whether you invented it at McDonald's or franchised it. You're both bad. Yeah, I'm going to I'm going to try to see all the Oscar yes, Armin, but that's Army is the fucking for short for that. Right? Am I wrong?
I would assume Armand.
Yeah. What are you tapping way over there for? What do we really give a fuck, Chris? This is why you're always going to be in Jen's shadow and drag fucking Vito into that shadow. Because you type and then you act like that matters. What matters is being in a conversation. You're never going to have quick wit if you just think to yourself, oh, all I do is type into this machine. I might as well just turn the voice activated on that fucking computer and fire you.
Please don't. Don't replace me with the voice.
It's going to be John Henry, and you're going to be working against the machine until your heart explodes.
I've been fired and replaced with voice to text.
What's it called? Voice to text?
Or text to voice. I got it backwards.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know what you were talking about.
Text to voice.
All right.
Either way, it's replacing you.
Yeah, this is not good
All
for
right,
me.
this just in, sports fans. A country is being kept out of the next Olympics because of a doping scandal. The country is Russia.
Wow. Whoa. With their gymnasts?
Everything.
Whoa.
Everything. Because across the board, like, you know how they have the doping doctors that check you?
Yeah.
They're doping and to try to help you beat the doping. But they've been doping my whole life.
Yeah.
I feel like if Russia's not in the Olympics, it's like a less than Olympics.
Really? You tell that to the 1984 Olympics, which was America's favorite Olympics in Los Angeles.
California.
Yeah, because McDonald's would give out something if your guy won, and they were just fucking handing out food all summer. Because there was no Russia, and there was no Eastern Bloc. That was back before, when they had the Eastern Bloc. So, like, fucking, I don't know, I guess Poland and Czechoslovakia and East Germany all stayed out. And the fucking Americans were just turning around beating fucking Canada, beating the shit out of them. And instead of, like, being embarrassed about it, people were just fucking waving the flag and chanting USA. The USA chant, I'd never heard in my life before the fucking hockey team beat Russia in 1980. But by 1984, it was like hack. Like everybody was chanting it for anything. You'd go to a goddamn football game and, Niners fans. That's back when the Niners had fans.
Yeah.
They would chant it.
And then in wrestling, it was just kind of used to combat the other, some mild racism. They're like, this guy's not from this country. Let's chant USA.
Well, if they're not from this country, they were also evil.
Right.
So even guys from Quebec were terrible, cheating people. Obviously, anyone from Iran, Iraq, any of that stuff was always
bad.
cheaters.
And the best thing you could be was American. I mean, like, if you were like an all-American wrestler.
Well, how are you all-American? You're a fat guy with cross eyes and you're carrying a 2x4. How does that's not exactly Captain America. And he made I think he made a fortune doing that shit. I never know if they really made a fortune, but he was over in a big, big way. Yeah, that's craziness that no Russia.
I know, we're going to sweep.
Well, who else is got me? Germany is very fucking strong.
France, they have a strong Olympic program.
What do you think, Chris? What have they ever dominated in? Pastry?
China.
Yeah, China.
And for boxing, Cuba.
Right.
Cuba would always have great boxers every fucking 4 years. Where is the next Olympics at? Look at Typee.
I'm not sure where the next Olympics is.
Then shut your fucking mouth.
That I won't be speaking about where.
Winter or summer?
Both. Give me both. Because they must be kicked out of both, right? Because when they dope, they dope.
You don't just dope in the summer.
I used to dope before sports stuff, but nothing that would help you. Stuff that always slow you down.
2018 winter is South Korea. And then
there's a lot of people talking about not going to that. Because they don't want to get blown up by no nukes.
And then 2020 is Tokyo. For the summer.
My woman from Tokyo. What is that? 1960 was the last time or was it 64?
I don't know.
60 might have been Rome. When I was a kid, I would always like to go back and read all the Olympic stuff.
That's a cool one, because that's original gangsta.
But
Rome, like doing it there, it's cool.
Greece is original.
Well, right, but
when you're in Greece, forget about it. You're fucking, you're right there for it all.
64, Tokyo had the games.
60, Rome, check that. 68, Mexico City. 72, Munich. 76, Montreal. 80, we didn't show up because it was Russia. 84 was L.A. Don't make me go through this without a fucking machine like you guys do. This is what happens, Chris, if you don't depend upon your machine brain.
Okay, we all look like a bunch of chumps right now.
This is a generation-wide jerk-off.
Paul.
We suck.
Paul, what's up,
I don't
buddy?
even know my mom's phone number.
Hey, guys. The type of movie person I can't stand is the guy at the start of the movie who heckles and he gets a big laugh, but then he just keeps going to the well one too many times and it's just bomb after bomb after bomb.
It's like anybody else doing a set. It's not easy. You know what I mean? It's not easy. Bobby in Baltimore.
Hey, what's up, Bennington?
Hey, man.
Happy. How you guys doing?
Good.
Yep. So, my mom and I and my sister went to this predominantly black theater, which we didn't realize was as predominant as we once imagined.
You live in Baltimore. Everything is predominantly black.
Yeah. Well, just outside of Baltimore. But regardless, we get there and we show up to watch the movie It, and it's a pretty gory, brutal movie. And just before the movie starts, they're dimming the lights. This one woman brings in about 12 little black kids, aging from the age of about 3 to 11, ushers them into the front row, and you can imagine them screaming and yelling throughout the entire movie. And my mom's this little old white lady, and she decides to say something, and they turn around, and for the rest of the movie starts screaming and cursing and throwing stuff, and I'm trying
Good
to...
for them.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, in my opinion, it is a children's movie.
It's about kids, is it not?
It's a horror movie, and that is for children. And if I was in a children's movie and I saw children enjoying themselves, I'm cracking up. Kids are so funny. When my kids were little, and I would take them like to a Disney movie, the songs would break out. The kids would just you'd see kids dancing up and down the thing. They're at a rock show. They couldn't help themselves, and I would be laughing my ass off. I don't understand people that you go to if I went to see, I don't know, is Nemo a movie?
Finding Nemo.
All right. If I went to fucking Finding Nemo and there was kids there, I'd be like, yeah, of course. I'm the weird outsider. It's like me saying, oh, I hate to get on a seesaw because there's so many kids in the fucking playground.
So it to you was like children's horror.
I think horror is for children. No adult would go to a horror movie, would they?
Oh, a lot do.
Yes, but they know they're saying a children's movie. I mean, they go to cartoons,
Yeah.
But you realize that horror movies are made for children.
Yeah. It's definitely like a teen. Anytime you see a horror movie in the theater, you're seeing like a bunch of middle school to teenagers always.
That's the exciting time. Yeah. It's like if you get on a roller coaster, you can't be like, look at all these kids on this roller coaster. They're fucking it up, but they're screaming.
We're taking this serious, dude. I'm old enough that I can appreciate this roller coaster.
Steve, what's up?
What's going on, guys? There was a documentary talking about that Russian scandal on Netflix. It was a amateur cyclist guy that wanted to increase himself or see if doping actually worked. And he got in contact with the Russian guy, and they went through this whole thing. And it ended up being more of a documentary about this Russian guy and his contacts. No. And that guy ended up in America because they were going to kill him over there. And...
Yeah, well, the guy who their doctor has spoke out and said this is what happened. And they said he's going to spend the rest of his life looking over his fucking shoulder. You know what I mean? Because they like this stuff. But the doping, you somehow get more oxygen in your blood, right?
Yeah, it's increasing the oxygen, the ability for your body to process the oxygen, and getting more testosterone and more oxygen into your blood for better, performance and
it just sounds like it would feel great. Like I would love to try. Not work out or anything, just do some and sit around at home and see how it felt.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I just can't because just having a bunch of oxygen in your blood,
feel great.
I might even go home now. Open up a vein, put a fucking tire pump in there, and just try to blow some oxygen in. Just blow some oxygen in.
Sounds like that's some quality doping.
It does. I'll do it easy enough. Yeah, oxygen in your brain sounds fucking just great.
When they said doping, I thought that meant just like HGH or like juicing. So juicing isn't the same as doping.
I don't know. I can't tell you, Chris. You're going to have to watch the documentary on Netflix.
I'm going to check out this Netflix documentary.
Either that or start typing into that fucking screen of yours and have them just tell you all your opinions. You're fucking listening to a machine, dude. Fucking machine.
You're the one who can't understand the youngsters?
Dude, I've been telling you for years. Rage Against the Machine.
Love that band.
Fuck you. I won't do what you tell me. How many songs, though, before you're like, okay, I got it?
I actually listen to one album's worth of songs.
No, but how many songs before you say to yourself, this is the same song?
6.
It's like a good song, though.
Oh, yeah, it's good. I'll go 4 before I'm like, I feel like this is the same song. They're good, you're right. And they invented a whole new sound. But there isn't a lot of music there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I put them in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's a tough call because is it about body of work or the impact that even one song made?
Because impact, yes, for certainly, I would say.
Vito, did you put up that thing of 1960s songs that people can't stop singing?
No, I did not.
Why?
I forgot I got the email.
Okay, we'd be doing that right now. But there were certain songs that they picked out that they've stayed with people for 50 years.
Oh, man.
Well, you opened this. You opened the show with fucking Gloria today.
Yes.
Them is not a big band. You know, Van Morrison obviously became gigantic after, but Them is not known for a lot of music. But Gloria is a fucking game changer. Wild Thing is a fucking game changer.
Yeah, there's so many of those, like, and like I guess that's probably that kind of dawn of that type of rock and roll. You know what I mean?
Rock,
that garage rock, the British invasion stuff. I don't know why, but all of those have kind of stuck around from being either just like people still get into it, or sometimes it's just like shows up because it's cinematic. I don't know why, but that genre has had a really
look
long...
at Wooly Bully.
Yeah.
That fucking song could get played today, and you're like, oh, this is fucking great.
You know what I think it is like a lot of those songs are just like really fun. Like that's a fun song. That's a fun song to like dance to at a party and like sing along to.
Yeah. And it's a rare thing to have a song that makes everybody dance and sing.
Yeah.
It's a rare, like a lot of times a song will come out that people will dance and sing to, but then they'll stop and it won't stand the test of time. I mean, you could even think back to, like, there's certain songs from the 90s that were gigantic that are forgotten about. And then there are songs that weren't big that are played forever.
Right. But whatever that, like, weird thing that happened where, like, everyone decides, like, oh, this is a song to hit the dance floor to. It's kind of strange, right?
It is weird.
Like even the most recent one was Despacito, and when we heard it, we went, man, it seems like there's a lot of songs that have sounded like this. So what is it about this song? And I went to like a wedding this summer, and it was like people went fucking crazy, and everyone like dancing to it, knowing the words, and I was like, what is it about this song that just like grabbed people?
People are nuts. Hey Justin, what's up, buddy?
Yeah. How you doing, Ronnie?
What can we do for you?
Well, I was hoping I could get a pretty cool poster to go with my Almost Bennington t-shirt.
I like everything that you're saying right now. I like it all. Vito, did you put up the signed poster?
Yes, it's on Bennington SXM on Instagram.
Well, did we tweet it out? Are we following all the social media norms here?
It'll be up on Twitter.
See. And I hope you're enjoying your Almost Bennington t-shirt, too. All right. Off you go. Is that it, Chris?
That's it on our Instagram account, Bennington SXM.
So we're going to have some of these to give out before Christmas. Unfortunately, not as many as Vito let on.
True.
Where he said a ton.
I'm a bad counter. But this count was good. I didn't count this. I had the interns count it because of the counting issues.
There's only one intern here.
Yes.
Hey, I saw you were talking with a new intern.
So our new intern for next semester came by to hang out.
Why wouldn't you bring her by to meet Gail and Ron and Chris?
Yeah.
She's going to come by again this week. I was just showing her around today.
Did you not want her to say that you don't have the stroke that you let on her, her that you do? Is that it? What's her story?
She is interning here right now for John Fugelsang.
Wait, page 6?
Yeah,
that could be setting us up for a lot of gossip, my friend.
I know.
Watch out, Jen.
So her name is Carly, and she's pretty cool. She is a fan of your stand-up.
First of all, that makes her the best fucking person here, since not one of you guys ever bring it up to me.
I do all the time.
Yeah, you do, but Chris doesn't.
I love your stand-up.
What do you like best?
I like the crowd work.
Oh, God, could you be more general and disingenuous? You know what? I've decided I'm never doing it again.
What?
Because of you, Chris?
Yes.
Why'd you say that?
I will end up the things I have to do, but that will be it. It'll be what I call Ron's 1-year experiment. Chris,
Yes.
have the documentary end with me at the stand that night.
Oh, no.
What?
You shouldn't end it.
No. You've got all the tape, edit it together with the triumphant show at the stand for 1 hour.
Okay.
All right, let me try to get you how to follow a bit. You didn't shoot me for a year, so you could bring that up, and I could be like, what? God damn it. We were doing a thing in the wrap-up, and I'm bringing up Christina P., right?
Mm-hmm.
And I go, Bert Kreischer's wife, Christina P., like we could have some fun with it, because you know how everybody puts those two guys together, right? Bert and Tom. I don't even know how often they see each other, yet everybody thinks of them like they're Dean and Jerry.
Yes.
So I thought it'd be funny to say, and instead of correcting me and we can have the funny joke, he just stops the recording. Ron, well, I'm going to stop you there. She's married to Tom Segura. I'm like, dude,
I know.
We're doing comedy. Never stop stopping.
I know.
We were really in a fucking dense place yesterday. I
I'm
blamed a lot
sorry.
of it on you.
I know, it really is.
You know
my
why?
fault.
Because you chill us all out.
I do, and you know what? I like to keep morale up.
Yeah.
I think that's a good contribution that I have, and bring everyone together. You're so teeny tiny.
She is tiny. We never see Michelle with Bunnell anymore. Well, here's how bad it was yesterday. I was like, blood sugar was down, so I was yelling at Chris or Vito, and I looked over, and Jen had that look on her face, and I'm like, I can't have Jen with that look on her face. Take 5, everybody.
I'm scaring Jen.
Yeah. If I'm mad at somebody, I want to be getting laughs while I'm mad at them. You know what I mean?
Jen, next time, just kick back and enjoy when Chris or Vito are in trouble.
Who was in trouble when you made that face, Jen?
I think it was Chris.
Yeah.
It's a good bet.
Maybe because he stopped the fucking show.
Yeah.
Ron, got to correct you there. We're going to restart this.
So Chris
Restart
does
what? A
correct
joke?
you. He's always everyone always says he doesn't, but clearly he does.
I do.
We got a break, Chris?
Yes, we do.
What are we breaking for?
Oh, we have Mr. Mike Lawrence stopping by.
Nice.
No, we got to do a live read, too?
And we have a live read.
That's what I'm talking about. You know something? Ring's mission is to make neighborhoods safer. Today, over 1 million people use the amazing Ring video doorbell to help protect their homes. Ring knows what home security begins at the front door, but it doesn't end there.
So now they're extending that same level of security to the rest of your home with the Ring Floodlight Cam. Just like Ring's amazing doorbell, Floodlight Cam is a motion-activated camera and floodlight that connects right to your phone with HD video and two-way audio that lets you know the moment anyone steps on your property.
See and speak to visitors. Even set an alarm right from your phone. With Ring Floodlight Cam, when things go bump in the night, you're going to immediately know what it is. Whether you're home or away, the Ring Floodlight Cam lets you keep an eye on your home from anywhere.
Ring Floodlight offers the ultimate in home security with high visibility floodlights and a powerful HD camera that puts security in your hands. With Ring, you're always home. Save up to $150 off a Ring of Security kit when you go to ring.com/comedy. Ring.com/comedy. That's ring.com/comedy.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey. Chris, is your mic on?
Yes, it is.
I don't
Do we
hear
got
it.
headphone problems?
Can you hear him?
Testing. I guess
No.
my mic went out again.
How could you not know it? You're the guy wearing headphones. You're the producer.
It was a little loud.
That's how much the world doesn't want my shows plugged.
That mic
Is that better?
Yes.
Mike Lawrence is in studio. He'll be at Laugh It Up in Poughkeepsie tomorrow at 8 p.m. and on Twitter at the Mike Lawrence.
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
Also, one of the greatest writers working today, one of the funniest comedians working today, and everybody's saying it to him. Like, congratulations for
Thanks,
all the
buddy.
stuff that's happening. But you were just telling us you have anxiety coming into a building like this.
Yeah.
Real anxiety.
Yeah, it depresses me. Like, it'll ruin my day. My day is ruined now. I mean, we'll have fun, but it's the corporate, like, no one's friendly to you. Even the soullessness of the elevator. I so badly wanted to fart in that thing just so they would know what an emotion felt like. Farts are an emotion, right? And then signing in even, and it's just, this is not how art is supposed to be made.
Well, you've wrote for some big shows, right?
Yeah.
And is it always in that thing where they'll go, okay, the creativity takes place down the hall,
Sometimes, I mean, I've been in a corporate office or two. But sometimes I'll just be like, I'm just going to go right outside for a couple hours. And that's where, like, I'll write a lot of my best stuff because sometimes you get depressed in those spaces, you'll be stuck on a sketch and you're like, I have to land in such a way that I could kill myself if I jump from here. Otherwise, I'm just gonna break my neck.
Yeah,
and I don't have wheelchair charisma.
Like,
I would not be able to be interesting. Like my wife's like feeding me for like 2 months, and that's it. Like, and no one's gonna hear your Aquaman opinions when you can't give them anything back.
But it is funny, like, rooms like this are kind of like, now instead of a studio, it's like a break room in a corporation where you can go in that room and kind of be yourself for a little while, and then it's back to the desk.
I was pitching a show last month in LA, and we would be in these like conference rooms where there's just like 4 of us, but it was like the Hudsucker proxy with like the table.
Yeah,
it's like 30 seats. You're just like yelling, I think that this would be able to appeal to all demographics.
For kids. What a perfect movie.
I know, it's
and that
so
thing
good.
flopped when it came out.
I know.
It was a major flop. And you watch it now and you're just like, man, that every scene is genius.
And even like the hardcore like Coen Brothers fans don't like it because it's fun and silly and not murdery.
Yeah.
But it's like it's one of their better ones, I think. I'm a Lady Killers fan too.
Yeah.
And I know that's a remake, but I still think it's really fun.
Yeah. But that thing, Paul Newman in that movie alone was as scary as a person can be without having a gun. It was just that thing that, he was going to wait for his time to strike, man. It's really pretty brilliant. And I didn't know that the hardcore fans were not a fan.
No, I was literally having a Coen discussion the other day at the stand with a few comics, and I'm like, that movie's kind of cheesy and corny. I'm like, that's fun. Like,
that movie's great.
It's
the
a
dialogue
metaphor.
is so good.
Yeah.
It's like a fairy tale. You know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah, it's suspended reality for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that scene when he's going to try to jump out the window and they're like, we put in plexiglass.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
and he's
a great
running
gag.
the long table, sticks to it. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys are amazing that they can write that kind of dialogue and then just have weird slapsticky comedy that works.
Even their failures are better than other people's successes.
Absolutely. 100%
I agree.
Intolerable Cruelty, I think that's one of the weaker ones. Yeah. I liked Hail Caesar a lot. I know people were harsh on that.
There was so much to like. And like anything in Hail Caesar could be like a great short film.
Yeah. Yeah, there were a lot of great moments.
Clooney is great with them. Like when Clooney does them, you're like, that's why he's a star,
You're right. He becomes like his most likable or most talented.
I buy him less as a real leading man than the impression of a leading man he gets to do in Coen Brothers.
It is true. Right.
They're like, just be Cary Grant and it works.
Who's like, out of all the people who do Coen Brother movies, who's your favorite that you look forward to? Who for you, Gail?
Francis, always.
Oh, Francis.
Did you see 3 Billboards?
Yeah, I did.
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm really, really excited.
Yeah.
But she's like...
Did you dig?
I didn't love.
Joe List hated it.
I know. We talked about it. Yeah.
Hated it?
He hated it. Yeah.
He's got strong opinions. He's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen it yet, and I'm just assuming that I'm going to like it.
Yeah.
But I always feel like I'm kind of, agreeing with you most of his movie opinions.
Who, Joe?
Yeah.
But I do like when you're like, okay, that was pretty good, and they come back to it and they're just like viciously opposed to it.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I want to see that movie again. I want to make sure that,
I've definitely been in that situation where I thought, like, was I like just in a good place for that movie?
Yeah.
Like, I've definitely watched a movie, everybody else like just tore it apart, and I was like, I was enjoying it.
I mean, Spider-Man 3 is my favorite of the original 3 Sam Raimi movies because it's the first comic book movie I saw while living in New York, and I was really poor. Didn't know I was going to pay my rent that month, and I was like, but Spider-Man's getting through it, so I can too.
Right. I remember being younger, being like in a bad place and just knowing, okay, this movie is starting, so I got a couple hours that I don't have to think, and I could just be in this world. And, and sometimes I regret not having that side of the experience now, where something, like if you're hungry, something could taste really good.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
They say like that's the best time to try new foods is when you're starving, because then you'll associate with like, oh, that like made me feel better.
Right.
So I'm always going to like that.
Yeah, it's funny. You'll sometimes criticize movies because of the context when you watch them. I saw Dunkirk, and it was the week I visited. My dad had a quadruple bypass. And, we were really worried about him. And I was like, I'll go see this fun war movie.
Yeah, right.
And it's so hard to follow because it's 3 different times at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just can't, like, I'm just trying. Can I just think about my possibly dying dad and watch us kill Krauts while saying Krauts? And like, nope.
Have you ever had the circumstance where you really liked a movie when it came out, and now years later you're like, that did not age well, and that is not a good movie?
It's an interesting...
The original Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, it's an interesting point to play. Well, I just watched this Apu documentary, right?
Hari Kanabalu, yeah.
And it's really interesting. I was not prepared for this thing, but they bring up that they all hate the party. And when I was a kid, I saw the party with Peter Sellers, and he's playing in India, and I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. It was like one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, and that's a movie, like, because it was brought up in that documentary, I was like, well, if he wasn't playing an Indian character,
would you think it was funny?
And I'm like, yeah, I mean, maybe if that was just a different character choice, because so much of that is just like he makes funny character choices and they're slapstick.
It's like a cartoon,
right?
An adult cartoon.
If he would have went in a different direction,
right? If he'd have played an Englishman who was
totally,
a little naive and sweet.
Well, yeah, I think like the overall like message in that whole documentary was like, we're not so upset about these we're upset that there's nothing else.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's less like an attack on The Simpsons and more like, why was The Simpsons the only one? And then this is what we got. Although they never mentioned Dalsim from Street Fighter, although not a great portrayal either.
But most Americans won't even watch a foreign film. And if you watch a foreign film, you're watching it like 10 minutes before you totally relate. You know what I mean? Like, it's just people. People are just people, so you can be watching something that takes place in Mongolia, and then you're like, that dude's like my uncle, right? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's even like we watched Pan's Labyrinth on Thanksgiving. I'd never seen it. It was great, but I was like, I don't want to be reading.
Yeah.
Like, that's a thing, too, because dubs never work.
No.
But then I don't have the energy to watch the sub, so then I'm like,
Well, it's also tougher to watch on TV than it is in a theater. When you're in a theater, those things are big, but when you're watching on TV, it's a tough watch.
I agree. I always tend to enjoy the experience more if you're seeing a foreign film in the theater. Yeah. Because you can take the whole image in at once and read.
What's the most recent film that you saw?
I saw 3 Billboards on Sunday.
Yeah.
I saw Disaster Artist on Friday.
I haven't seen that yet. Did you like?
I really liked it. I thought it was amazing in how it made fun of Tommy Wiseau, but also celebrated him. So you're like, how did this guy exist? But I'm glad he did.
Right.
And that's really tough to do. It was cool. It was. I'm not even. I think there's way worse movies in The Room. But seeing the making of it was fun. I loved Coco. I think Coco is Pixar's best in a long time.
Yeah.
I love Thor Ragnarok. I thought that was Marvel's best, maybe.
Yeah, I heard that's considered the best thing that they've done in a long time too.
Yeah.
Well, when they got caught up in the Avengers and stuff, there's just so much happening at once, and everybody, it's like a big sitcom where everybody has to have so many lines,
and then they're not even about. It'd be like if a sitcom was about being funny now, but also about what's in the next episode.
Right.
So they're not even like entertaining you now. They're like, how do we entertain you next year so you come back?
Right.
And this was just dumb fun. I think that director, Taika Waititi, he did What We Do in Shadows, which I think is one of the best comedies in years. Not a lot of competition, but still. And you could see he was able to put himself in the movie.
What is the big comedy of the year? Is this going to be somebody runs away with it this year as far as being the comedy of the year?
I think it would probably be Girls Trip or The Big Sick. I would say that those are the two.
Yeah, those are the two that Girls Trip seems to be one of those game changers.
Right.
So many years after Bridesmaids, where now all right, they'll go in that direction with women. It's very funny how women's comedy has now gotten so much more physical. Than it used to be.
I think it's great. And I think it's cool that. They're not all going to be hits either, but I think it's great that we're having more ensemble female comedies.
Well, there's nothing harder than making a comedy. There's nothing more difficult to land than a movie comedy.
Well, what was the one before that kind of didn't get great reviews?
Rough Night.
Yeah,
Rough Night.
That Rough Night.
And
I liked it. Yeah, I saw it.
But I know that it didn't get good reviews, and like the bad moms and stuff. It's like maybe,
right,
not critically liked. But I think it's great that these continue to get made.
Well, dude,
it's a great trend. I'm happy that became a thing.
You should have Paul Feig though every time you do one. He's great.
Well, the industry, it is funny that they didn't realize till a few years ago, like, oh, women want to see themselves on TV, and it's like. I mean, people could bash Lena Dunham all they want for her beliefs, for whatever, the easy jokes. But at the same time, it is like, she made a show about and for a group of people that didn't, have a lot of shows.
Right.
Yeah. I agree. And
and that's a huge consumer base.
I was never a fan of the show Girls. And, I feel like I don't have to be a fan of hers to appreciate that it was a good thing that she got that break. And why I was kind of always a little cautious of taking shots at her, whether I liked her or disagreed very strongly with something that she said, is like, look, I'm glad she exists because there's plenty of men who make who have shows, who make shows that I disagree with. But for some reason, I think the fact that she was given that opportunity, enraged a lot of people. Just made them furious.
Well, it was also a time and space thing where, there was that anti-hipster thing that would just blow back against and now that's gone, right?
Yeah.
We just generally call it millennial. But for a while, we were just angry, these hipsters and their music. Everyone's always had every generation's had their own music.
Yes.
Yeah, and every generation is supposed to sound old when they complain about the new one that's coming up.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're supposed to be passed by.
And every generation had hipsters, specifically people who were like, here's a new style and here's a new stuff and here's everything we're into and here's our new slang, and literally all of them have that. And then you have the generation going, your hair is too long. Or
That. So damn it.
You look like a girl.
We went to war. Why won't you?
Well, yeah, it's funny. So many I'm one of them, hates YouTube people. And well, Vine stars, and now that's even a previous generation.
Yes,
Vine's over. But I'm just, I'm one of those people that's real comedians, they're out there every night and they're grinding and they're doing the shows and the open mics. Let me tell you, brother, right? And then you're like, not these jabronis on YouTube making videos, but it's like they're working as hard.
Yes,
They built an audience, and it's just like, all right, I'll admit it, I'm old. I don't find most of it funny, but I'm old.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
And that's the weird thing is that's even less so like a millennial thing. It's like my little cousins or like, oh, do you know this YouTube channel? Do you know this YouTube star? Like they are talking, and then they are talking in a sense of humor that I don't really understand. That somewhere between like just like bizarre and you know what I mean, kind of surreal.
It's a weird surreal thing.
Oh yeah, they don't watch television.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and a lot of it's that exclusive experience of this guy is talking to you. Like, I find a lot of YouTube stuff, like PewDiePie, I mean, before all the racism and stuff, but like a lot of those, like video game YouTube personalities, they're literally just the imaginary friend.
Right.
For the kids. You know, it's like, here's like a 27-year-old hot Swedish guy who likes the video games that you do, and you're a 12-year-old girl. That's awesome. You know what I mean?
And they're also looking for that one-on-one because they're not allowed to go out. Their parents, people go, kids don't go out anymore. But people's parents don't want them to go out. Yeah. You know, so, but they still have that same desire to connect that any kid does.
I mean, and so much of the culture now, I don't get. It's like, it's literally back in my day, we bought video games and we played them because we wanted to play them. Now people will watch people play video games.
Hard to believe,
I
right?
don't get that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not supposed to.
But yeah, it is. It's almost like sports. Like people played baseball and then they're like, oh, but I really prefer watching other people playing at a level that I can't play at. But I played enough to know that that's really difficult what they're doing.
It was a hard concept for me to get because, again, I had little cousins who would watch people play Minecraft and build stuff on Minecraft. And I didn't really understand that. But I do know that, like, on video games that like you could only have one player, like me and my brother would sit there and watch each other play and be like interacting with each other. So I'm like, I do know that there's something there.
Right.
And like the reason why is because like I cared about his game or he was going to play after me. So they just built that community with somebody who isn't physically next to them.
Right.
But like we definitely did that as kids.
Well, Chris, we were just talking, you were bringing up today that you said you're starting to feel disconnected from everything.
Yeah, because of like Snapchat, like Instagram stories or whatever, and the YouTube stuff too.
All right, here's the thing. So someone brings up HQ to me. Oh, you got to play HQ. It's a video game. No, it's a trivia game that goes down every day at 3:00 and 9:00, and people all over the world play. So I download it. Me and Chris are outside yesterday. The thing goes off. There's 300,000 people together that are answering 12 questions. Me and Chris are looking at this, and we look at each other and go, does this feel like Black Mirror? It just felt immediately.
So much like it.
We came up upstairs, and these guys had played the same game, and we hadn't discussed it. And then he said, isn't it like Black Mirror? We all felt like something bad was going to happen to us.
It doesn't feel good. Like the host seems so disconnected and weird on the HQ trivia.
And that's the guy from The Onion.
That is it.
So there is a host of the game. It's not just like questions.
It's a host, and everyone's playing, and like they get progressively harder. So all of a sudden, 50,000 people will be out, and then
gotcha.
And you play this, and they only when you get to the end of it, it's like you split $1,000. It's like $2.95 a piece.
Do you put money into it?
No. I don't think they've worked out like what they're going to do with this. And it's the same guys, I think, that started the Vine.
Oh, wow.
And they just know how to pull people in to do something.
Right.
I think they're going to figure out how to make, whether you're going to have to watch ads
like
later.
It sounds surreal, but at the same time, like, I want to play HQ.
You do want to play
it sounds cool.
Listen, it is interesting, too.
Yeah.
It's like with Vine, I remember, like, we're like, man, they're trying to give these people who, do 6 seconds, like 50 minutes of stage time. They can't do that. But then it's like, we never admit that we can't do 6 seconds of compelling video that captures people and gets millions of views.
Right. Because for some reason, to us, it just looks like they do like this. What? And we're like, why is everyone passing that thing around?
I remember there was an At Midnight episode with Vine stars and just like watching it. It's like the first time you can almost see like Chris Hardwick break. Like, enough of this. But it's like, because they're just like yelling but then like, man, if I was like 11 and alone Because the thing that you never like forget is like hot, confident people will always find a way to succeed, as I am proof of, you know? But it is like, even the internet was made by nerds, and they're like, we're finally going to have our own place, and it's not going to matter. We weren't respected in high school or college. And then a butt picture gets the most likes on Instagram, and it's like, it doesn't matter. Hot, confident people will always rise to the top.
It is true. And then people are like, well, she's just getting famous because of her ass. And you're just like,
If we all die and heaven is just we're beings of energy, the ones that are shining the brightest will be loved and revered more than us.
Yeah.
Mike Lawrence is in studio. You can see him at Laugh It Up Poughkeepsie tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Go to laughitup.net for tickets, and on Twitter at the Mike Lawrence.
And Mike's act is interesting because he's very confident in talking about being uncomfortable. There's a very strange thing that you do that you can bring up these things, and like I say, you're confident in the way you talk.
I'm like a couch on the street corner that wants you to sit on it.
And then, of course, the roast shows, which you became famous for, and that was a whole different kind of comedy that didn't exist before.
Oh no! I mean, I started in 2005, and like, who knew that like 11 years later, like I would find like this format that was the perfect thing. That it's like I was that guy at the open mics that would make fun of people and roast them, and it just that skill was building, and I didn't even know it. But yeah, those shows have been fun. I'm judging tonight. I'll be at the stand.
Yeah,
you're one of the best judges.
Thank you very much,
man.
I enjoy it because it is. Well, first of all, you have to be so good to do it, you know. But I also enjoy the fact of seeing those guys sweat it out and cringe. Like it isn't like they can take these hits better than anyone else.
No.
They just take them, you know. I've seen some of the women be just vicious with each other.
It's almost like they have to go through more and then internalize that, and then they're able to unleash it. And it's crazy. Like even being like as someone who's been on both sides, like being judged, you're just like, oh god, And or even like I remember one time I battled Guy Branum. He beat me. It was really fun. I got the burp, bump, bump at the end, and it still haunts me. Just that negative sound effect. I'm like, oh, and then it's like, when you've lost.
Right.
Like I got that. He didn't. I'm done. But then it's 8 more minutes of those guys, and it's just like this part of the show.
Yeah. But you think roast battle is gonna be around for a while? Or do you think this is just a sign of this time?
I think for a few years, and I think what it takes is just more people innovating the format. Like when you watch people doing different stuff with it, I think like Eric Bergstrom is one of those guys who I think the key to making it last and the key to even being a good roast battler is not coming to the show, but bringing the show to you.
Right.
And, I think like Dina Hashem, who, won the tournament at the stand. I think she's brilliant. I think she's doing Conan tonight. So watch that. She's incredible. But I think one of the reasons why is that it feels like her stand-up. It feels like her as a person. She's not, she does that whispery, mousy, and hard, heavy punchlines, but she's also innovating things. Like she battled Eli Sayers, and her second round was doing an interview with Eli where she just took clips of his stand-up and had him respond to like humiliating things. And it didn't destroy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I respected that she tried something different. And I think the more that people experiment, and a lot of the experiments will fail, but it's just making those attempts, I think.
Yeah. Well, the reason also that I think that you're so great at it is that you decide to put time into it and write and research and be unique. Where a lot of those kids are just like, hey, you're fat. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You're like, yeah, you were mentioning that earlier.
Well, they're doing an impression of what they think the show is because they're doing it to get booked. At the club or whatever, and so they're like, "This is going to be my big break." That's not the show to do that. I remember I was at the Comedy Store a couple of weeks ago, and this guy went up, and Brian Moses, who's awesome, he's the host in L.A. He was like, "Why do you want to battle?" He's like, "I just figured this was the best way to get stage time here." And he bombed so bad, and I go, "How's that getting more stage time thing working out for you?"
Yeah. But your point is the experience. Just go there for the experience, the artistic experience of trying to achieve this piece.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the reason to do it, if you're a comic and you're going to do it, is to look at it as a challenge. And how much can like with Thor Ragnarok and Taika, like how because there's a strict Marvel formula, there's a strict roast joke formula. How can I put my voice into that, still honor the format, but make it different?
Yeah, I'm always amazed when people don't try to tailor themselves to whatever the event is. Anyway, like people will go to certain cities without learning about that city, or you're doing a New Year's Eve show and just doing an act without mentioning like, oh, we're all out for this reason. You know what I mean? Like it's a dangerous, you don't ever want stand-up comedy to be a play that just repeats itself.
Yeah, I mean, now this is where I'm going to sound old. I also feel like there's a lot of entitlement in the newest generation of comics, but I'm sure they said that about us.
Sure.
But there really is this like wanting to bypass like paying some of the dues and like just going up, I'm going to just do what I want anyway. And like, I get that. But at the same time, like, I think because, this is the first generation of podcasting of, you can spend all your life listening to people talk about comedy. Like, you don't even have to listen to people do it anymore. There's just, and so there's a false expertise that comes with that. Like, all of these shows are entertainment. They're not tutorials, but people use them as that. And then they forget, like, the basics of what it's actually about. Like, the business and show business that, yes, it's an art form and you want to express yourself. But at the end of the day, these people spend $15 plus a 2-drink minimum.
Yeah, it's a hard thing.
If they don't go home being entertained, then you failed.
Right.
Yeah. And you said you also like notice like sometimes like the younger comics will kind of try so hard to look comfortable that they're not making a big enough deal about being on stage.
Yeah, I think that there is a thing of there's a casualness is also show business, and you have to remember that. You know what I mean? Dean Martin was very casual in his singing, but he was a professional singer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think like in those first few years, like, there should be that honeymoon phase. Like, everything should mean something. You want to show up before the show starts. You want to stay till the end. Watch other people. It's like when you see a comic who's at their third time at an open mic and they bomb and then they leave. It's like, you owe it to yourself to watch someone use that same stage and kill. And know that it was your fault.
Yes.
Accountability, I think, is the most important thing, in comedy.
Does that still bug you to this day when you like go to the store and you don't have your best night and you see a comic before you or after you have a very good set? I
mean, it bugs me, but in the same way, I know it was me.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing a half hour on my second half hour for Comedy Central on Saturday. I've been running it a lot, and there's been the growing pains. I'm having to shake off a lot of LA rust really fast.
Yeah.
Having to learn to talk to them and not at them. It's tough again. But, and having to accept like, oh yeah, this person literally just crushed. I'm not connecting and figuring it out, tinkering, having to rewrite. I've even like sat with like a few comics I respect and like, well, where do you think I lost them? How do I make this better? Yeah.
It is always funny to me to like go into the stand and you see it's this, very small place and you can feel casual about it. And then there's 5 performers who come up there and you're just like, oh, these people are fucking great.
Yeah.
All the time. You know what I mean? all the time. And you're just like, you could be like, oh, Bonnie McFarlane's really good. I forgot. You know what I mean? Like, I forgot just how great she is. She's not just like, oh, someone that we're friends with that stops into the... She's amazing.
Yeah. You are friends with her, but then it's also, when you are friends with someone, you forget, like,
yes,
like Sean Patton's one of those guys for me. It's like
unbelievable.
One of the best.
Sean Patton, every time you turn around, you're like, is this a new 10 minutes?
And you can't tell if it's riffing or not sometimes.
I don't know what he's doing. And I don't know whether he cares or at all or cares very much. I can't tell whether he's precise or really I don't know anything about how he does it other than the fact that he just comes up and swings and goes for it every single time.
Yeah, it's cool to like, I think that's important. Like I did some show at the Improv in front of 15 people last week in LA and I saw like Jackie Cashin and I was like, oh, this is what great comedy is, you know?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. Like it could be awesome. I wonder, do you think that comedy is the best it's ever been as someone who's been in it so long?
I would say it is definitely more people can do more things than ever before. When I started radio, there was very few comics that could come in and riff on the radio and be comfortable. And because of podcasting, fucking everyone can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're working at that. When I see comedians acting now, can't believe sometimes how great they are. Comedians moving over to write on sitcoms and stuff like that. I think the writing in TV shows has gotten better and better all the time. So yes, I'm going to say people can do more stuff and the same people can do 19 different things. You know?
Yeah, and I think that is the positive of the internet that people don't give enough credit. But it's like Twitter has taught us all to be late night writers,
right?
You know, and Instagram has taught us how to get good headshots, and in podcasts, have taught us how to be great interviewers.
And then you just turn around and there's Dan Soder on a TV show, and I know Dan very well, and I'll forget it's Dan.
Yeah,
it happens all the time now. So yeah, there is. There's so much. I remember great comedians who couldn't come into the radio show and be funny, and then they would be like, I'm not doing my material. They would just say, I'm going to be at Ha-Ha's this Thursday, and you'd have an uncomfortable 10 minutes with them, and those things used to be paid for by the club for them to come in, and they didn't want to be there, and we didn't really want them there, and now guys can just roll in and kill.
Oh, I know. And like we take for granted too, like always, like every time we have a comic in here and like we'll talk about movies and then we'll jump to politics and like everybody can flow with everything and maybe that's the same as you just mentioned. Like,
no, that's great. When you could bring up any topic with Mike Lawrence, he's going to be able to run with it. He's not going to say, wait, I've never heard. This
is out of my wheelhouse.
It just doesn't anymore.
Well, now it's like if I do like the local morning radio and they want me to like, you know, how about you do this joke or that joke? It is foreign. I know there's a whole generation of people that's what they did.
Yeah.
And now it's like, can we just talk, like, I'll be funny.
Would you think that'll change on the Tonight Show one day, that it won't be as planned, that people will just feel comfortable to walk out?
I don't think it'll change on the Tonight Show, but I think as we've been talking before, less and less people will watch the Tonight Show and find these other things that speak to them more personally. And like, I think that's the big shift in all, you know, pop culture is why have I been letting someone decide what it is I should watch? Why have I been letting other people pick and choose my cultural experiences? And so I think like, I do think comedy is the best it's ever been because there are more opportunities. I don't think, you know, any like same amount of people will watch something or any comic will be as big as like, you know, like how someone like Dice Clay had that huge moment in 90, but a lot of people will have huge moments at the same time. They just may not be as big.
Yeah. All right, we got to go. Mike Lawrence is seriously, as I said before, he's one of the great writers today, one of the great comedians. Make sure you follow him.
Mike will be judging at Roastmasters tonight at the Stand in New York City. Go to thestandnyc.com for tickets. And he's performing at Laugh It Up Poughkeepsie tomorrow at 8 p.m. Go to laughitup.net for tickets and on Twitter at @the Mike Lawrence.
All right, that's it for us. We'll see you all again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974.